Game time.
Unfade me, baby. There we go. There we go, Tim. All right, guys,
I
welcome to
thought I
Live
hit
Well.
it, but I didn't.
Welcome to Live Well here at Fish North Georgia this Thursday night. We are so glad you guys could join us. Got a great show. It's going to be fun tonight. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you click that notification bell, subscribe, thumbs up, do all that stuff. Follow Fish North Georgia on all our social media platforms so that we can all have fun together year round on everything. So tonight, the best of 2024, the worst of 2024, what we're going to see in 2025. We're going to cover it all. And you guys in the comments section, you guys need to participate in that because we want to know what you guys think. What were the highlights, the lowlights, and we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about tonight. So nothing is off the table. Call it a free-for-all, call it whatever. We do this annually about this time each year, and so it's right before Christmas. Everybody's in a good mood. Kevin has fed us well, and we're just going to lay it out there tonight. So let's go ahead and thank our fine sponsors as we get started. Of course, we start with Sonar Pros. Trent and the guys over there down off 369, the best in the business at Sonar. His shop right now is currently full of pros. So if pros are taking their boats to Trent, you know they're going to do the best job. They want the best job. They're going to go to Trent. You should do the same thing. 770-530-4505. Going to have a retail location there very, very soon. They're working on it. And then, of course, our buddy with Lipsticker Fishing. Kevin's got me a new logo, and I got to get with him because it's got all his numbers on. But the thing that he's got going on right now, guys, that you guys have to subscribe to, I'm telling you, you should. He's got a Patreon, Lipsticker Fishing, where you can basically be taught on the water live while he is doing the fishing. This is not a pre-recorded, hey, this is what I did this week. These are the things. This is on the water with him, answering your questions and everything in real time. So check him out on his Patreon. And I promise you, Kevin, we're going to get this the logo and all that up here real soon. So Lipsticker Fishing, I love them right there. And, of course, we got Evolve rod sleeves right here, the best on the market for all the money you spend on these rods. Protect them with the best Evolve rod sleeves. And the best thing about them is when you put them in that boat locker, you're not going to get all your hooks on. We got a whole brand new shipment here at Fish North Georgia. So come by and see us and get you some, as well as the Money Saver Lure Retriever. Again, think about the money we spend on all these baits. You want to get it back. The Money Saver Lure Retriever is the best one on the market. We got them at Fish North Georgia. I use them. Guys that are using them now come in and talk about them all the time. They absolutely work. Now, if you're in the Lake Allatoona area, there's only one man, and that is the legend, Bill Payne. Bill Payne's Guide Service, 706-280-2305. He does sonar trips. He does seasonal smallmouth trips, and he will do other lakes on request. But if you're really wanting to understand Lake Allatoona, there is nobody better, in our opinion, and in the opinion of many people in North Georgia, than Bill Payne. So book a trip with him today. And then we got this up-and-comer, this hot kid right here, Brooks Anderson, with Brooks Anderson Fishing. I'm telling you right now, if you pay attention to the Fish North Georgia page all the time, the pictures are there. He really specializes in what I like to say the youth, the high school, the college kids that want to take their game to the next level, and he wants to help them progress in their fishing journey, teaching you all about spotted bass behavior and why you throw this and that and where you throw it. So great with the younger generation right there, Brooks Anderson Fishing. And then we got our buddies, Fishers of Hope. Now, guys, we know, especially this time of year, we always talk about helping others. But Fishers of Hope does this year-round, and their mission is to glorify God, be servants of his word, to bring those in need to peace and hope that only he can bring. Now, this ministry hosts fishing tournaments to help people in need. If you want to participate, Fishers of Hope Ministry at gmail.com. But also, and I say this every time, if you know somebody that needs some help, or if you need some help yourself, reach out to them. Great people, great cause. We need more people like this in the world doing these kind of things. So we appreciate Fishers of Hope. And then right behind me on the wide, about to cough. I still got my cold. Turner Tires, 706. Why are you coughing? Huh?
Sympathy cough.
Sympathy cough. 706-253-3339. You're in the Jasper, Georgia area and you need new tires, alignment, anything you want to support your local companies right there. They're great people. I take my cars there. They always do an outstanding job, Brock and the family out there. They'll treat you right. And let's talk a little bit. Let me go off script a little bit. Off script. It was kind of mentioned on the Fish North Georgia group page today by an individual. But anytime you're shopping, especially in the fishing industry, and you have the opportunity to help out a local tackle shop, a local company, let's try to do that and help the mom and pop shops out. And I kind of mention them all the time, but we've got them popping up here and there. And we've got some big companies that are moving in the area. And hey, I understand there's a need for them too. But if you have the opportunity to go to the Buford Dam Bait and Tackles, the Oakwood, the Hammonds, Fish North Georgia, the Dugout, and all the other fine ones that are popping up, let's try to support your local companies, because there's something you can get at a small tackle shop that you really can't get at a big store. And that is what I like to say, that the connection that you make with the people in the shop. If they're running their shop right, and we all should be, they're going to take the time to help you out on a personal level. You're more than just a dollar sign to them. And don't get me wrong, we like your money. But I enjoy talking to the people that come in my shop more than anything, and building those friendships and everything. And you can only do that really at a local tackle shop. So I want to shout out James Collins for bringing that up to everybody today on that. And it's really and that's with any industry. You've got your small town shops and stuff like that, and there is a need for the Walmarts and the big companies of the world. I get it, but anytime you can help out people like us, help them out. And again, I know those big companies employ people like us too, so I'm not saying ditch them altogether. I'm just saying spread the wealth a little bit. So, all right, let's check the comment section before we get started. Go back up to the top there if you don't mind. So there you go. Alan Brooks. Alan, Merry Christmas to you. I tell you what, you're in one of my highlights for the year. And Ron Swinford, Georgia Southern trails 14-7 in the second quarter. Well, that's not good. You keep us updated on that right there. And so Tony, John Alder, hello. Tony says he's really digging his Evolve rod sleeves. How many of those you got?
22.
22. I probably got about 12, 11 of them, something like that myself. He bought 10 of them, finally got them. And I'm telling you, that it's not comparable, guys, at all. So what's up, Uncle Danny? Nathan Owens. Want to say Merry Christmas while I got the chance to everyone. We will not be doing a show next Tuesday night for obvious reasons. You need to be spending your time with the family. What I'm going to try to do is cut a best of the Live Well episode, all the highlights. And it might end up being 2. I'm going to go back through every single podcast of the past year and pull out the juicy tidbits, the funny stuff, Kevin vapor locking, any of Tim's comments over there. I'm sure we'll have something about Falcon rods in there from you there, Dave, and all that. So you'll have them in there. So Clint has 30 Evolve rod sleeves. Yeah, once I won one, I was hooked. I think I probably paid for about 29, and you did.
I gave him one of them.
You did. So anyway, let's get it started. So here's what I want to do. As we think back through 2024, lots has happened. A lot has happened. So, Kevin, I'm going to let you, being the elder statesman of the podcast, what stood out to you in 2024 as far as the fishing industry, whether it be tournaments, whether it be a new bait, anything that crossed your mind?
Just a number of changes that came across probably with forward-facing sonar with the 3 major tournament trails.
Yeah. So
I don't think they can make up their mind. I think the NPFL is the only one that's still in concrete as to what they came out with initially and haven't made any changes.
Okay. So
I think that's pretty solid on them.
Okay. That was my next question. Do you agree with what they did?
I do. I want to see what's going to happen from it. I think they're trying to evolve. They don't know for sure yet, and they've said that, but they're trying to evolve and to see what direction it's going to go. And you keep hearing about some of the major pros starting to come on over to the NPFL this year.
Yeah, there's a lot that's going to fish both leagues. They'll fish the elites. Is there any MLF guys fishing the NPFL? I don't keep up with MLF as much as I do the elites.
Not that I've heard of.
I haven't heard of any. How about you, Tim? You heard anybody?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so
I don't think anything's really been said yet. Too much, except for a BASS. But
Well, they've made some cuts, so you may have some come up. I know James Watson's going to NPFL.
Watson is.
So Watson is. Swindle is.
Yes,
what I heard.
He's going to fish both.
Welcher, Cook, and all Patrick Walters are staying with the NPFL and fishing the elites still.
Swindle, I think somebody mentioned maybe Matt Herron was going to fish some of that.
There was 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, but you agree with the NPFL?
I do.
Okay, so that's what stood out to you. That was the big thing.
I do. I just want to see what direction they're going. I'm not against forward-facing sonar. I don't know enough about it. I know it helps, but I think there's got to be some, and I think they've taken some changes towards that and limiting the amount of screen time and the number of transducers. But we'll see how that all works out this year too. So I'm going to hold judgment on that until we see what happens.
Okay, all right. Dave, what about you? 2024. And you guys in the comments, throw out, your memories and all so that we can discuss them with you.
I guess mine would be in relation to forward facing sonar as well, but how dominant it was, whether it was smallmouth, largemouth, deep, shallow. I mean, it started from the get go, and those guys are catching fish in places where I've caught some fish shallow with it, but these guys are utilizing it at a whole different level, and just how powerful that tool is.
Do you think that's because they're just that good?
I think it is.
I mean, no matter what equipment's in their hands, they're going to be just better than we are.
Oh yeah,
as a whole.
That's their job. I mean, if they came to my job, I would be better than them at doing what I do.
Right.
So, but it's just amazing how for me really how shallow those guys were catching those fish on, and the more I do it, how precise you have to be and tracking those fish down and staying with them and knowing which way they're swimming to lead them, and it's been pretty cool to watch.
Danny's the most advanced scoper I know. Yeah, right. Yeah. He can scope out a buffet a really long way. Now, that's true. That's absolutely true. I can do that for sure. All right, Tim, how about you back there? Put the camera on your beautiful mug.
Here I am.
Yeah, what do you think? 2024.
As far as where fishing's going,
Anything. I mean, biggest thing that stood out in 24.
probably those big changes, and also this thing with Alabama going to make that slot limit. I'm kind of concerned as to what's going to happen on the Coosa chain. How's your tournament's going to turn out when you can't turn in, what is it, 16 to 18
14
inches?
to 20.
14 to
something
20?
Like that.
Yeah,
14, 20, 14 to 21, something like that. Yeah.
So you're out there trying to get a 5-pound bag of fish, and it's either got to be dinks or giants.
Now, that's not set in stone yet, though, is it?
Is it?
I don't think it's set in
I
stone.
haven't heard.
Yeah. It may not be, but I mean, that kind of hit me here recently, on top of all the other stuff as far as the rules change and then flip-flopping back and forth with bass.
So you guys, the big stuff to you guys is on the big national level.
Well, I think you're seeing more from the anglers too. Their voices this year. They're, in the past they were pretty quiet about everything. They just went about their business. But with all these changes that came about, a lot of them have become very vocal into what they want to see or what they want to do.
Right. I got that. So mine, I'm gonna start off with the TAA. Alan put that tournament on. I'm thinking more on the local level, the stuff that I kind of remember that I pay attention to. When he brought all those pros to fish against the locals on Lanier, and again, it had no forward-facing sonar, so that wasn't an issue. But the spawn hit just at the right time, and some of the weights that some of those guys were bringing in, and then being able to kind of hobnob. Some of the local guys been able to kind of hobnob with the pros. Got to meet, Gussie and talk to a bunch of those guys. Establish those friendships, but I think Alan kind of was a step ahead. I don't know that he's not against forward-facing sonar 100. He's not against it, but having that tournament to say, hey, let's just put the guys there and see what they can do. And the locals showed up well. I mean, it was a great tournament. But that was of the many highlights of the year. I remember that one, of course, that we were being able to broadcast it live. But just seeing the Emils, the Paul Driscolls, Brooks Anderson, those guys compete against the likes of the Johnson brothers and all that. I remember Cifuentes, he was doing it live on his thing. And hopefully we're going to have some more of those tournaments like that. That was the start, and I think a positive start. Everything's got its naysayers, but I think that stood out to me as what started the year off. And then it did kind of trickle into the changes that you said with the NPFL. I got mad at the NPFL. I didn't like
You did initially.
Initially, I didn't like the way it was laid out. Now, after some adjusting, a little attitude adjustment, but I'm really tight with the guys that come to the show, the Robert Blesky and Will Harkins and, of course, Trent Palmer and all them. So I didn't like it at the beginning, but I do understand and see it as the business. That business model is what's going to take them forward to separate themselves from the other two. They had to do something to separate themselves. Now, whether that's the right move or not, time will tell. I think the biggest thing that everybody can agree on, that everybody fussed about, whether it's Bass, MLF, NPFL, is watching it on TV. How do they make the entertainment value better for some of us that sit at home watching? Because in my opinion, you see it in the comment section all the time. yeah, you're looking at a guy's butt the whole time. Well, even if that guy's frogging or something like that, you're still looking at his ass.
Yeah.
So what can the three trails do to make the entertainment value?
But if he's frogging, Danny, or doing something else, it's constant. It's not, I'm scoping back and forth looking until I finally see something, and then I cast. There's no dead time. And to me, that's dead air when I'm not throwing anything. I'm just scoping, looking to see if I can find that fish.
Okay, I can give you that. I can give you that. Let's see. Yeah, from what this is Ron talking about the Alabama situation there, Tim. From what I heard, Kay from Alabama Bass Show got Kay Ivey, the governor, and got to them, and maybe they will do something a little less drastic with the slot limits. It's okay to have a slot limit, I think, but one against just the tournament guys is extreme.
Yeah, I fished. I grew up fishing a lake over there that it was a tournament. It was a trophy lake, and they had a slot and they had tournaments on it. It was, I don't remember. It ended up always getting one with 4 little flippers and 1 giant.
Right.
That's what it ended up being. But I think Mr. Ron said it best. Where you're talking about having the 3 tours. Now there's a little bit of whichever way you want to feel about it or you want to go about to watch it. Now you have an opportunity. Whether you don't like it, you enjoy it. You can watch it on Bassmasters, or you can watch a little of both, which is MLF has.
Right. So Zach Lamb, pull up Zach's comment right there. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Elites are going to be a lot of trolling around looking at the screen, like the recent MPFL was on Murray. It was terrible to watch. Yeah, I mean, but if you know going in, that's what it is.
And
a lot of guys like that.
And what are you wanting to watch? They don't make one TV show for everybody.
Right.
When I turn it on, I want to watch either my favorite person I'm wanting to follow, or I'm wanting to watch what he's doing with that bait.
Right.
If I want to watch a frog blow up, I'm probably not going to turn it on that. I'll probably go to MPFL when they go somewhere that they might be frogging or flipping. That's where I will turn in and watch whatever that technique is.
Do you think, I've heard it said many times that if you could, and it might have been some pros that said it, if you could have a pay-to-play service to follow your angler around all day long, the guy that you follow. So let's say you pay a subscription, and let's say it's the Elites. Let's say it is the Elite. So Emil or Paul Jr. from around here, if you could pay $3 a month or whatever, and anytime they had a tournament, the camera was on them 100% of the time, would you be interested in doing that?
Well, they don't have a camera in every boat. So,
but I'm saying if they could, that they had the subscription service. This is just ideas rolling out there.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
You would do it. Who would you like to watch?
The leaders.
The leaders.
I want to see what they're doing. Yeah.
Okay. Would you do it?
Yeah. I would have my favorites, but I'd also look at that guy that's down there in about 90th to see what he's doing that's different than the leaders.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because like I said, like those guys will tell you, you don't have to miss much.
Oh, it's a game of
good.
It's a game of inches.
But it's one of those. Does he have 5? Is he not catching anything? What's he doing compared to what the leaders are doing? It'd be interesting.
That'd be almost if we could find a way that they could mount a camera for the scopers up there so you could see his screen constantly. That might make it a little more interesting too to follow.
I think that was brought up as part of that program. If you're following your favorite guy, like say we're following Emil.
Yeah.
I subscribe to him. He's the one I want to follow. Or if it's one of those where you just pick what you want to do for the day. Yeah, I'd like to see maybe him and a split screen down there and maybe just see what he's watching. Cause I'd be glued to do that.
Yeah.
You're watching him fish. You're also watching how he's doing it and what he's actually looking at. And you may even get lucky and get to see the strike.
I got you. So MPFL would be a lot more entertaining if the streaming service didn't lag and cut out constantly.
Absolutely.
Now that I think is being addressed because I think they're going to a different platform in 25. I actually think they're going to have their own in-house. They were using fixed TV. I think now they're getting they're going to somehow, some way bring it into that. So let's see. They have to do something with the text. So if somebody is scoping, you can see what he's doing on screen. Now I believe the MPFL had that though with Trent, did they not?
I think they did.
Some of the units have ports on the back that they could hook into.
Yeah, I
and
think
they may all do. I was looking at some of my Lowrance stuff the other day, and it looks like you could probably hook a cable into it.
so. That would make the difference if a guy is scoping all the time. If you had his forward facing on, so you could at least learn what he's looking at.
I mean, I learned a ton watching just how they shake the rod and how they reel the bait and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you could see it live, absolutely.
Okay, I got that. So cameraman Cletus, I pitched that idea to Bass 3 years ago, and I think we were a lot closer to the live streamed GoPros in each angler's boat. And then Eric says they should set it up like NASCAR and let you pick what angler you want to watch. So I mean, that is now I know there's powers that be, they get paid to make these decisions, but at the end of the day, we're the ones watching. You know, I probably watched more bass tournaments the last 2 years than I have in my entire life leading up to this. I always would watch the 30-minute replay that would come on, but to watch it live, but also because I got connected with a lot of the guys that fished. And once you've had them on as a guest, you know, if you like them, you make a connection. And okay, when Trey McKinney was on, I had paid attention to him a little bit, but then after he was on, to me, he was a likable young man, and I started following him the rest of the year. So, you know, we're always going to follow the Emils, the Pauls, and all the local guys.
Right.
But I think once you know more of them, and maybe that's something on the anglers to make those more personal connections when they're at, say, maybe the Bassmaster Classic or,
Sure.
you know, iCast with retailers and stuff like that. Let's see. I'm trying not to cough. If I cough in the microphone, guys, and I apologize. I really like the MLF team tournament this year, and the MLF team tourneys are fun to watch. I did not watch many of them, so I'm not as familiar. I know the concept. Did you watch any?
I watched some of them. It's good. I enjoy that. I actually like what MLF did.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see this year because it's always had a bunch of strategy involved, but I think it's going to even be more this year. My only concern with theirs is having the 3 periods. If it had just 2 periods, it'd be easier for the viewer to keep up with it. I think when they're on, when they're off, because I mean they can start out with no scope, then go to scope, then none, or a variation of that. I think it's going to be a little hard to figure out what they're scoping, you know, a couple hours is. It'd be easier if they had to split it into 2 periods, and you're either scoping or you're not, and you don't have that extra period in there that's laying you out. But I think it's going to be interesting.
You like the catch and release better than the 5 fish at the weigh-in, though?
I think it's just better for the fishery.
Yes.
Just in general.
Well, it probably is. I'm asking you personally, watching it. Take the fish's feelings out of it. Do you like watching guy come up and seeing what he's got 5 in a bag, or you watch him, hey, it's a 2-pounder release, 1-pounder release?
No, I'd rather see him catch and release.
You would.
Yes, I would.
Okay. What about you, Tim?
I kind of like the weigh-ins. I like the bump tanks,
Yeah.
watching them go across the stage.
Yeah.
To me, it's more entertaining. I
Yeah.
kind of get the way they go about that with just weighing the fish and dropping them back in the water, but the whole thing, just like we covered here lately, I mean, that's entertainment right there, watching guys come up to the bump tanks and work their way through the scales.
Okay, I got it. What about you?
Uh,
I'm a 5 fish man.
I do like the 5 fish, but when I came here and joined the club in the summertime, we did the catch weight release. It's a whole lot less stress. It's a lot, you know, it's just better for the fishery. That's what I care about.
Okay. All right, let's just so cameraman Cletus says we need an FMGO team series where we stream our team tournament between our boats. The commentary would be gold. We'd probably need somebody back in a thing with a dump button
Yeah.
like crazy. All I know is I apologize.
There would
to
definitely
Jesus
have to
about
be
a-
a second delay with one of those beep
Oh.
switches.
We'd have to have a priest on call.
I will say all kinds of stuff, and I'm like, sorry, Lord. I'm sorry,
For
Lord.
all the pictures in the game.
Stephen Barday, I'd rather see what's on my screen than sitting at home watching what's on theirs. So he's basically saying
He's not a screen watcher.
he's not, but he's
Watching them.
I think he wants to go out and
Fish.
fish. I think he's like, get out on the water and don't watch them. So catch and release is great for the resources, but the weigh-ins is where you can have a crowd. And that's what Jordan Lee said when I asked him which one he preferred better. He said there's something about pulling into that stadium at the Classic and having all those people
All right.
and having that just a crowd there. You don't get that interaction
You don't.
with the other one.
You
So if it's for entertainment value, again, take the fisheries out of it. Entertainment value.
5 fish is the way to go.
I mean, do we not do it on Saturdays around here?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you don't have a winning bag, many guys will hang around just to see who caught what. Take us.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe just do it the last day and the first 2 days is catch and release.
it's possible. It's possible. How many?
Because you don't get that big crowd the first and second day anyway. It's the third day of the weigh-in.
Yeah. Yeah, the Classic experience has to have a weigh-in. And I think, and again, it might be what you're saying right there, Ron, the tournament dependent. at your Super Bowls and at your bigger, your Red Crest and all that, you have the weigh-in. But maybe the first event on Murray, you don't necessarily. How big of a crowd do you really reckon they draw?
It
Classic,
No. Regular tournament.
It depends on where they
where
go.
it's at.
Like I'm gonna tell you, Orange, Texas is one of the biggest crowds fishing the dang Sabine River.
Well, how big of a crowd though? What are we talking about?
I've heard of as much as 3, 4, 5,000 people. Yeah, it's a big
Okay,
deal.
that's a big crowd.
But here's the thing: that area is. I mean, while there's some money down there, that is not. Those people come out and support those guys because they spend a pile of money when they go down there,
Right.
and the people there really appreciate.
Which is one of the things, the drawbacks to the Alabama thing that Miss
Yes.
Kay and them were talking about. All your local tackle shops, your
it.
hotels,
Hotels,
restaurants, and all that.
Right.
I don't know what the economic impact is, but they do stand to suffer some.
Oh yeah.
And for a company that's marginally just not paycheck to paycheck, but month to month,
Right.
they depend on those few months when that trail's coming through there. I mean, that could be their Christmas season for all we know.
Everybody gets a boost. I mean, it's not, and Miss Kay's trail is one of the bigger ones, but I mean, anything you fish the Coosa River Team Trail, if you're fishing, on Lay and you don't want to drive all the way to Weiss, you're going to get a hotel room.
Right.
That's $130.
Yeah. And so, like Eric says, it also will change how you fish too if you're looking for 52 pounders versus 5 4-pounders. So I guess let's jump to this. What's the one thing in 2024 that just absolutely chapped your ass, irritated the daylights out of you in the fishing industry?
In the fishing industry.
I know my answer. Tim, I'll let you start on this, and you're grinning.
Why are you
back
throwing
there.
me under the bus first?
Yeah, let's
I
let
was
you do
smiling
that.
at him. The one thing that just chapped my ass.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't think of it right now.
Can you not? I put
can't-
you on the spot.
Yeah,
too
you put
quick.
me on the spot.
Well, think about it there. All right, Dave.
I'll get back with you.
All right, Dave. What about you?
I guess just the negativity.
That's kind of where I was going.
God, man, come on.
Yeah.
It's just everything is negative.
Negativity sells.
I know it does, but I'm not selling anything, so it doesn't benefit me.
So I would say, and Kevin, do you have an answer? I'll let you answer before I do.
I would negativity would certainly have to be at the top, but also the price of boats and everything and equipment, maintenance parts, everything just seemed to go up in 2024, and that was to me an abundance of boats should have been made and parts should have been made that were sitting back from 2022, 23 because of COVID hitting.
Right.
So
There's
to
inflation.
buy the price of a boat motor back then, and it was expensive.
Let me ask you a question.
What?
When you first started fishing, what did a rig cost?
Well, hell, I don't know because I bought used rigs. That first
Well, what did a used rig cost back then?
probably about $4,500. I think I paid $6,800 for a brand new Procraft with a 150 Johnson
$6,800 for a brand new Procraft.
back in
The 40s,
1984.
1984. Wow.
I remember in 1992 or 3, I went in my first major dealership, and they had a brand new top of the line Ranger for $29,995. I said, I'll never in my life be able to buy that boat.
And now what's that same Ranger cost?
100,
6 figures.
110.
$110,000. Okay, yeah. So Eric had this happen to him. So he went out and bought, and it is a beautiful Skeeter, and I think it's a 2002. I don't know, but it's kind of like yours, Kevin. I mean, it is sweet. Had a used motor. Guy did some work on it. They got it out on the water, blew it up quick. He paid $24,000 for a new 200
A buddy of mine,
SHO.
That's about going rate for a 200.
Yeah, for a show.
$24,000 for a show.
a buddy of mine,
99. That's what his boat is.
a friend of mine that I fish with here, blew his the same day as the Toys for Tots. Getting a brand new 250 4-stroke, $25,000.
$25,000. So that was the price of a boat, pretty much. And all back when
92, 93.
92, 93. Everything's crazy. $4,500 will get you a decent draft.
when you pull it apart, when I bought my new boat and started looking at all the figures on it, the boat doesn't cost anything.
It's in the motor.
Trailer doesn't cost anything. Your electronics rigging and your engine, that's where all the money goes.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's
right
insane.
There. Let's see. Let's go back. I don't want to miss Ron right up there at the top. Keep on going. Pull that one up right there. What has bothered me more each year is all the drama around MLF. You have people cheating on camera every year over there, and virtually nothing is done about it. Well, cheating has been in the news. It has been in the news.
Cheating's
lately.
been all over this place.
Yes, it has. But it was. We had it from that, and that got called out a lot. I know Slick had a field day with all them guys on that. Basically enforcing some rules for some, not on others. You had the walleye guys. Was that this earlier this year? Or was that the year
That was
before?
year before.
Year before. But hell, people still talk about it. And then, of course, we got Milliken right now, which I don't think is cheating. I think that's just an oversight. But it leads into what I think is the most negative social media on fishing. Can't stand it.
I got my answer for your chap to ask question now.
Go ahead.
Clickbaiting.
Clickbait.
Chaps my butt because I follow a lot of these guys. I learn a lot from them, but when they get into their clickbait phase, there's thumbnail and a title that's telling me that, hey, you're about to share some really cool advice or something like that. The video never gets to it, or that one little bit is the last minute and a half of a 12 to 15 minute video.
Yeah.
And all you did was got a click out of me. I got no value, no entertainment from it or anything, but my dumb ass sat and watched it.
Boobs are that way.
In commercials, yeah.
I'm serious. How many guys, honestly, will click on a video because that's in the thumbnail?
Oh, you put a female up there?
That's what I'm saying. And I'm not being sexist. I'm saying guys use that because they know.
And if you're smart, they'll always put the female that you're looking for somewhere at the later part of that
that you're
video.
looking for.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
the thumbnail, it shows the hot chick with the fish.
Yeah.
Well, she's in there. They're not cheating you on that part, but
You got to
she's
watch all the other
It's
stuff.
a 13-minute video, and she came on at 12:50. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Oh, my wife or girlfriend caught this really cool fish, and you just sat and gave them all the credit they needed for that view, 100% watch, because of their clickbait or their thumbnail. That's what gets me.
I think they just know the way we guys are like that. So, but I will tell you this. So, Randy Blockett, Austin Lure, he's won. The problem is, to me, now all the channels that have popped up that are basically trying to be the TMZs of the fishing world. Take Milliken's thing, for example.
Yep.
When I got the next morning, when I turned on my computer and I pull it up on YouTube and I follow a bunch of them, I would say at least a third of all the suggested videos was tournament fraud cheater.
Yep.
Tournament fraud. Ben Milliken arrested for tournament fraud. This, that, and that. And even though Randy B put one out there and I watched it, he got me. But what pissed me off was halfway through the video, Randy Blockett goes, I don't have all the details. Then why in the hell are you putting out a video?
Click.
It's the same thing. He ain't the only one. There's a bunch of them. And there are some guys that have, like, they're following it daily. The drama behind this. Here's what happened. Here's where it's at now. And on their thumbnails, they're acting shocked. They're acting all this. Well, what's the guy that doesn't know? He's going, well, I don't know what happened with Ben Milliken. And he's going to click on it. I mean, the guy just didn't have a license. He made an honest mistake. Now, he has done well with being prepared for it and all that. But it's not just with that instance. You had it with the situation, the dust up with the NPFL. You had it with every single time Bass, MLF, or whatever, change a rule or don't. And the honest to God, I mean, what does it matter? What does it matter whether there's no entry fees in Bass or not to you and I?
Makes no difference to me.
It's to the 80 guys or 120 guys that are actually good enough to fish the daggum trail. But it's like just the way the social media is just the clickbait, the trying to be TMZ, and they're trying to break these stories and they don't know anything. I took a screenshot of a Facebook post, and it was a post, and it said Ben Milliken was caught cheating in a tournament. And then it went on and it had his picture of his mugshot. And I had already knew that thing, but this was 2 or 3 days later, and it's popping on Facebook. Guys saying he got caught cheating in the tournament. And I'm sitting there like, you should be able to get sued for that or something like that. It would seem to me like that. But that's what the problem is with
He
social media.
knew, and I think he's been over roasted, but he knew at the time what had happened. And if he'd have posted something then, look, guys, I made a mistake and here's what happened,
Yeah.
none of this would have been carried on until what's coming up lately. We wouldn't have had to worry about it anymore. So he caught his mistake, he knew it, but he never said anything about it.
But even
On
now,
social.
he's kind of profiting off of it.
Yeah, I understand that, but was that I don't think he set it up to be profitable at this time about it. But we wouldn't have been going through all this, and there wouldn't have been any negativity toward him regarding this matter, because he'd already said, "Hey, I screwed up, guys, back in March of this year, rather."
Yeah. I don't know.
I think
It took them a while, from what I understand, and he made the boo-boo with his not purchasing the license, which he corrected. That's a simple citation in any state.
yeah, you're a cop. You're a cop.
Fishing without a license. You're right. They pay a fine. If it disqualified him from entering the fish into the what was it? The lunker share, Texas
share,
lunker
right.
share.
share.
Yeah. So what? It gets disqualified. Maybe they can still use the fish to get its genetics, but he just didn't get credit for it. That's a slap on the wrist. He pays his fine, moves on. It seems like it was on down the line before somebody got the bright idea to go swear out a warrant and formally charge him with this.
Well, they charged him because he could win prizes and stuff with that, and then tournament fraud was the only thing.
That's what I'm saying.
That
If
they
he'd have
could charge it.
If he'd have said something sooner about that, it wouldn't have been.
But do you
anything.
think he knew he was going to get charged with tournament fraud?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think we ever know what's going to happen down the road with something we've committed earlier. You
Right.
never know who's going to bring that back. It's almost like Trey McKinney and Swindle on policing themselves. Swindle caught him and turned it in, more or less. But I think that's how BASS does it. If somebody doesn't say anything, how many things don't get reported because these guys know each other or they're good friends or something?
I believe Swindle said he had to do it because he had what's one of them guys?
Camera.
No, what's one of them guys that ride Marshall?
Had a marshal with him.
Well, the other thing is too, when they sign that on the back of that weigh-in slip, it says, you agree that you have not broken a rule or you have not seen a rule.
You've not witnessed one being broken.
You have not witnessed one.
Mhm.
Okay, but that still lends itself to. I mean that is what it is. But it ain't these guys on YouTube trying to make 20,000 views.
Those guys
they
are
said,
like
"This guy
bottom
did this."
dwellers. They catch all the bait that's falling from the rest of the things, if you think about it.
But the problem is when Emil was on here, and let's take Randy. I mean, we could trash Randy for, but the problem is Randy does have some good videos that got some good information.
He
on it.
does sometimes.
He gets the views, and even he admits he gets the views when it comes to a car wreck going down the road. Everybody's going to look. But Emil was saying there are guys out there, and he was talking about Randy specifically, that it's almost like a cult. They're going to follow what he says no matter what. And so as these guys gain traction, when they put something out like that, that guy watches it and he tells his buddy, and then before you know, it snowballs.
Yes. It just
Propaganda
gets bigger and bigger.
almost.
And it's not just in fishing, but I know we're talking about the fishing industry. But and again, I think we're back to being you're guilty before proven innocent nowadays. That's just society as a whole. I don't know what you guys think on that. The whole point is to get the quality bass in the genetics program of the Lunker Share, 100%. Which I'm sure they got the fish.
Yeah, like I said,
They got the fish.
I hope that they literally use the fish. And like I said, he don't get credit for it, but the fish was caught, and hopefully its genetics can be used in their Lunker Share program.
His company gives thousands of dollars to the Lunker Share program.
What are the odds of that, huh? I wonder if he
Uh,
still will.
He had to just piss somebody off. So I have more fun just competing local and staying out of drama. Buddy, you fish local long enough, you're going to find that drama there too.
Where's there no drama on a local boat ramp?
That's
tournament?
right. I competed in Opens 10 years ago and started seeing drama back then. Love your show, guys. Great content. Warren Barnes, we love you too, dude. Absolutely. Thank you for joining us.
Go back up a little bit, Tim. Right there at Eric B. Richards.
Will never happen. They should do something where you can buy a nationwide fishing license. I'm sure it's hard to keep up with what's up to date when you fish all over. It is, but you're going to have, state of California is going to want to charge X. State of Georgia. I found out today the state of Georgia is #1 in the Southeast in combined hunting and fishing licenses in the Southeast. I wouldn't have guessed that. But Georgia's going to, the cost of living in California and their fisheries to the cost of living in Texas, how do you determine where that license money is divvied up to and who gets what share? So I think it's a great idea. I don't think it ever
It's a
happened.
good concept, but it's probably
Yeah,
not going
the
to happen.
concept.
I would
The
rather-
concept's great.
I would rather them come up with a thing that says they all expire on January 1. At least have the same expiration date. Because I've got Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama, and I got everything on auto renew. Just so that I don't run into this problem.
I get it. I get it.
That's what I had to do, auto renew for
They also
3
should
different
have a
states.
nationwide concealed carry.
And
But
I
that's
just
just me.
Well,
I
when
just
you
had
get
to
made,
spend
it's
$40
free.
bucks so I
It's
could get a
free.
license
Yeah.
to put a vessel in Alabama waters after October 1st.
How about having to do that with your buddy with his kayak because he's going to put a motor on the back of it? Now he's got to get that.
Motorized vehicle. And you better make sure the course you take is state approved. Don't go just take a little free one because you'll get out there and they'll be like, this is not state approved. And only God knows what Alabama's going to fine you if you're an out of state resident and you get caught doing that.
Big fines for out of state. But you see what I'm saying though with the social media? It's just, it's negative. It's negative. It's negative, negative. Agree. It will never happen. Richard Lyons says, Fatty Yak, yeah, not to mention
Yep.
his company puts up the prizes. It doesn't add up. Miss Tuesdays, but you were talking about perch. When do perch spawn and do spots and largemouth feed on them? I will say this. The ones that Kevin Underwood sent pictures of me from Lake Lanier just this week were full of eggs. Now, how long does a perch carry eggs? I don't know. Do bass and spots feed on them? I would say small ones, they probably would. I would say so,
would
wouldn't you think?
Yes.
So I don't know the answer to that, but I do know he sent me a picture and had it cut open, and them jokers were full of eggs. So y'all have the best fishing show on any social media. I appreciate you guys. Well, Tony, thank you very much. It's probably because we're not smart enough to talk about all the highbrow topics and all that. We grab that low hanging fruit, but thank you for the comment. How about Bassmasters, MLF, et cetera, make a deal with the states that they are fishing that they are fishing that year to do a license for their anglers. I'm reading that wrong, or he typed something wrong, and I'm not getting it. So, Eric, retype that. Retype
I
that.
think he's trying to say, give them a license that covers all the lakes they're fishing that year at
Okay,
one time.
yeah, well, that might be
Maybe a tournament trail license.
a
or
tournament
something.
trail license. We will do that.
Or when you pay your entry fee for the tournament, your
That'd be
license is
part of it.
covered.
That would
Yeah,
go
be
to
part of it.
bass.
Okay, well, that's fine. I'm good. Far Dog, good evening from far southeast Oklahoma, fellas. Was cooking boiled shrimp, turnip greens, ribeye steak, and jiffy cornbread.
We're on the
We
way.
had steam shrimp.
We had steamed shrimp. That's a hell of a damn combination. Boiled
Good to
shrimp
me.
and turnip greens. Is that you're Cajun? You eat that stuff together?
Typically not shrimp. We do fried fish and turnip greens.
Fried fish and turnip greens.
Or mustard
Okay.
greens.
Well, he's eating good tonight up there in
He is
Oklahoma.
eating
Yes,
Yeah, I ain't
of
gonna
course,
argue with
that's
his
all that matters.
menu there.
You know what I experienced for the first time this week?
What's
and I
that?
cannot believe I ain't never done it in my life.
Jalapeno cornbread.
No shit, no, I've had that.
Okay.
My Aunt Faye at her Christmas thing made some vegetable soup and took it home. My wife took a big thing home and she took home some cornbread from the dinner and all that.
Oh, okay.
I have never mashed cornbread up in
Crumbled it up in
crumbled it up into vegetable soup.
Bless
Dude, I
your
never
heart.
have in my life. I never,
What is wrong with you?
there. You need to get a life.
Get out more.
Yeah.
Well, damn, guys, I'll try.
You don't.
I'll try.
What do you
I ain't
do?
never
You don't
done
put
it.
What do
like
you do
Ritz
all
crackers
day?
and nothing.
Ritz crackers and buttermilk and stuff like that. I've done. I've never put cornbread in vegetable soup.
You tying too damn many jigs.
You need to take off tomorrow and go fishing.
Jason's trying to talk me into closing the shop. Going
I'm trying to
fishing,
help
and I
you,
can't
Jason.
do that. He wants me to. Danny, what's on the front of your shirt? I ain't got a booger on it or
Red
nothing.
Bobber.
Red Bobber. All right, so local company, but I just like. I got 2 or 3 of these sweatshirts. I like the cut of this sweatshirt. It kind of thins me a little bit. No, I'm not a Yankee. Ain't no way cornbread is supposed to be sweet. I like sweet cornbread. I like that. I like it
Okay.
dressed and all that. But I had never just crumbled it up in vegetables. Well, you know why? I'm not a big fan of vegetable soup. Now, ever since COVID,
Vegetable beef soup.
I'm saying that there wasn't no beef in it, just straight vegetables.
You crumble it up in your black eyed peas and hog jowl too on New Year's Day.
Do you
Yeah.
do that?
Yes.
Now I eat the
Oh,
hog
my
jaw.
wife, we're traditional New Year's.
I can't believe
We
you.
do,
Oh,
we,
yeah.
we do the
Traditional.
honey baked ham leftover bone in the thing. My wife.
No,
would
she
eat. I
buys
don't
hog
eat
jowl.
Hog jowl, you gotta eat hog jowl. You gotta eat that, and you gotta get it so hard. You gotta like pull it. Really
we
hard,
have
really
collars,
crispy. I ate that, and I ate cornbread.
fried chicken.
But listen, I ain't a fan of black eyed peas. I'll eat them on that day.
Ketchup on them.
Huh?
Put ketchup on
I
'em.
ain't. You put ketchup on
I
everything.
know I do. It's good.
He's
Good
not
man.
wrong though. We learned that. He's not wrong.
I did not do it. I tried it. I did not do it. I'm protesting
You
it.
put pepper sauce on it?
Pepper sauce, I
Pepper
would.
sauce is good.
Ketchup does not belong on jambalaya, and it don't belong on a steak either.
Depends on if you're from Gonzales or not.
I'm not. I'm from. I was born in Duluth. Danny, are you fishing EBO this year? Yes. The only thing I could bid on today, shallow, was a weighted wacky rig freeloader. Deep was Vision 110 +1 junior match shad. So you ain't American, Danny. Yes, I am American. I promise you. Now, Ancestry DNA says I am 100% British. There's a reason why I'm short, fat, stubby, all that stuff. I'm British. It says it. Didn't yours say British too? My cousin's up here. We've had that conversation because my mama and all them said we had Cherokee Indian in us and all that. I ain't got a bit of Indian in me at all. That was disappointing too.
I thought you were fat, stubby, and short because it's close to the jig tying machine.
No, I'm just British.
Okay.
I'm just British. How do you feel about Brad Fuller threatening the angler that made the video about the tournament being canceled? Let me walk that careful line because I'm friends with a lot of people in that
Tread
situation.
lightly.
I will say,
In your opinion,
in my opinion, not Fish North Georgia's opinion, that given the circumstances, and if it could be done differently, Brad would have done it differently. But there's a little bit more to the story than just what happened. I will also say that we all probably have made mistakes in anger and said things and done things that we probably regretted pretty quickly after it happened. I've talked to Brad. I'm buddies with Brad. I haven't talked to him about this situation. But I am friends with the guys that run it, the NPFL. I'm friends with the anglers. And so there are opinions on both sides. I will say this. In this day and age, you can't do anything like that and not get recorded. Somebody's got a phone, so you got to be a little bit careful. Was that well enough said that way?
Very
Tactfully.
good, very well.
Tactfully. But hey, you know what? Brad's a Marine too, though. I grew up with a Marine dad.
Me too.
I get it. 20 years ago. How
running
about
a
this?
tournament is not easy. We
No.
know that.
We know, but how about this? 20, 30 years ago, guy walks in that same situation. He clocks his ass. We don't think anything about it.
Nope.
Would you? When Gussie was on, I asked Gussie, hey, if you could, you veteran elite guys, and a young guy was doing this, would you like the ability to self-police yourself? And his answer was absolutely. But you can't because of sponsors and cameras and all that stuff. 20 years ago, somebody got punched, and we wouldn't have had a big issue about it. Now it's all over the world, all over whatever, the fishing industry and all that.
I'm going to need to see a counselor tomorrow after this show, I'm sure,
Why?
just to smooth my feelings over.
You don't agree with me?
No, I do. It's just that the day and age that we live in now, everybody needs a counselor for something that happens.
You know whose account? We got one in house. That's
do
what
we?
Jason does for a living. we got the counselor here.
Kevin, you need a hug, buddy?
Huh?
You
He ain't a hug, buddy.
He needs
He'll
a
tell you
hug.
straight. He'll tell you straight. But I'm just saying the difference in time.
Yeah.
I mean,
For
he
sure.
can tell you I got my ass tore up growing up. Marine dad, short temper.
Don't start it. Don't
Start if you can't finish it.
Yeah, that's right.
Far dog. Listen to that. Oh, Patrick Gray, corned bean, red beans and rice.
Absolutely.
That's red beans and rice.
That is my kid's favorite.
It is
With
it is-
onions.
Yes, well, anything with onions. That's one of my favorites. Now, his crawfish etouffee is top 5 meal I've ever had in my life. I'll
Mhm.
give him that. But I can eat red beans and rice till I absolutely freaking blow up.
It's good stuff.
I can eat cheap red beans and rice. I can eat fancy red beans and rice. There is not a bad red beans and rice. Love it. What's your favorite meal? All time favorite meal. The hell you got to think about?
You want me to say that too fast? I don't.
Mine's easy.
What's yours?
Spaghetti.
What are you, 3?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti?
Spaghetti.
You're not? Are you Italian? Do you have any Italian in
I
you?
am Italian.
Are
mine's-
you really?
50%. Yeah.
You're
Mine-
50% Italian.
Really?
What other 50% are you?
Irish.
Oh, that's a hell of a combination. Irish Italian. There you go.
Mine's my fried chicken.
Fried chicken. Tim,
Me frying it.
you frying it. Okay. Tim,
I like meatloaf.
I love meatloaf. God almighty, I love meatloaf.
I don't care what else is on the plate as long as there's meatloaf. It can be some
I
green
will-
beans, it be corn. I don't care as long as
extra
it's good
sauce.
meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Meatloaf with the right sauce.
Don't cut the sauce short.
No.
Yeah, you got to have the right. What do you call that sauce, Dave?
Don't let your meatloaf.
Ketchup.
Ketchup.
It's the most versatile. Kind.
Why
Don't
did
let
I?
what? What did you
I
say?
knew he was going to say ketchup.
Now, what'd you
I
say?
said, don't let your meatloaf.
At my age, my meat don't loaf or nothing. It's just there.
There he goes.
There he goes.
We got
We
vapor
got
lock.
vapor
got
lock.
himself.
We've officially
Oh,
Call the
he's a good one too.
paramedic. called the paramedic.
He's rolling.
I'm off.
You got choked up over meatloaf. Look at him. Kevin, I love you. I really do. Like, you're one of the best parts of my Thursday night. Meatloaf. Don't let your meatloaf.
That's
What was that you said?
That was
earlier?
my dad's taught me that long time ago.
Don't let your meatloaf.
Yep. What was that I said when?
Remember that you had that saying about slapping the woman around or something like that.
God, I don't remember that saying.
No, you didn't say it like that. No, you didn't say it like
Miss
that.
Terry, he's
No,
sorry.
no, that's not what I meant. You said something. Tim, you know what I'm talking about. Remember?
I can't remember how he phrased
He
it.
phrased
It was hilarious,
something.
though.
It was hilarious.
It was funny.
You got one of these like old man kind of sayings that like Sean Connery could say.
Oh,
You're slapping
gosh.
him upside the head a little bit.
I'll have to think of it.
Think about it. It's going to be in my highlight video of the year because I'm going to find it. Let's see. Too many people get butt hurt over their feelings. Suck it up and grow a pair. Okay, I get it. He has no temperature, I'm sure. Crawfish dressing and fried blue crab.
He sounds like he's from down my neck of the woods. Not Oklahoma.
He lives in Oklahoma, though. Bring the therapy dog in. We got one of them. Ribeye, mashed potatoes, steamed carrots, and cornbread. Now, that sounds like a meal at an old folks' home, Ron. Other than ribeye, it's all soft food.
Put a
He's like,
sirloin there.
You
and they
just put a
sell it like
sirloin
the
there.
old folks home.
It's like all soft food. You know what my favorite food is in the entire world? Guess. I'm a cheap date. Guess.
Probably spam or potted meat. Or
I do like spam and potted meat. A Quick Trip jalapeno hot dog. That is my favorite with mustard.
I'm gonna tell you what.
I like a Quick
I
Trip.
can't do one of them that's on the thing.
Yeah,
But the little brine ones,
yeah.
the little red ones that are red dye number 6, and you boil them. till
Red
they
dye
split
number
open.
6. Yeah.
Oh God, I can eat a whole pack of them.
If I'm on death row, my final meal will include a racetrack or a Quick Trip jalapeno hot dog. He worked offshore at Patterson, Louisiana, welding for 8 years. So that's where he picked it all
where
up.
he
There.
come from. Okay,
A Sunday buffet at Shoney's.
that's pretty good too.
My wife and them won't eat buffets, and I like a
My
buffet.
wife won't either.
Ever since COVID, they thought it was gross before, but ever since COVID, they won't eat it.
My wife
You
won't
give
either.
me a Chinese buffet, and I'll show you how to get your money's worth. But I do like what is Ryan's even around? Roller Food rocks, absolutely 100%. Hi guys, love the show. I tuned in at the right time when Kevin vaporized. Well, there you go. That is the time. Good old fashioned hamburger is hard to beat. That's Farmer.
That's true.
It is. I'm telling you, you can't beat a jalapeno
Cheese
hot dog.
sandwich.
A cheese sandwich?
Just 2 pieces of white bread and a cheese sandwich. No mayonnaise, no mustard, no
Do
nothing.
you heat it up?
No, you squish it.
That's my 14-year-old Kevin.
I'm telling you, spaghetti
You
and a
ask,
cheese
you ask my
sandwich.
wife.
Dude,
I'd rather
no,
eat
no,
a
no,
cheese
no.
sandwich
No,
than
no.
I would
A
eat
cheese sandwich?
No, when you
What
when you
kind of
make-
bread?
white bread.
What kind of white bread?
It's 45 calorie. I think it's
that's-
flour.
yeah,
That's
there's
bullshit.
45 calorie
You
white
can't eat
bread.
stuff like that.
Gotta have that
You will
something.
choke to death. You got to have some sort
Huh?
of slick on a sandwich.
I
Gotta have some mayonnaise. What kind of mayonnaise?
don't use mayonnaise when I do use. I use
Blue
Miracle
Flake.
Whip,
Oh, okay. No,
but I don't.
you got to
like
have
2
some
pieces
slick
of
'em.
cheese is nothing. It's just 2 pieces of cheese and 2 pieces of bread.
You're gonna choke. It's like going to
That is the
Arby's.
driest ass sandwich in
It's
the
like
history
going
of the
to
world.
I
Arby's.
can eat the shit out of it.
Yeah. No wonder you're crapping off the
I-
back of your boat.
Oh.
I can.
That's like going to Arby's.
That's like a 3-year-old.
That's what my kid does. He comes in, gets 2 pieces. He eats bunny bread because he's from Louisiana. And a
I
piece
feel
of
young. I
cheese.
do.
Well, you look young, but I didn't that young.
Oh, I love a cheese sandwich.
That's prison food, Silver Punk says. Yeah, Duke's Mayo is my favorite, but I will eat Blue Plate. Favorite boat snack? Trent Hester wants to know what our favorite boat snacks are. Let's have summer and winter.
I have one all time. My buddies back home's gonna love this. Those orange crackers that
With a
come
peanut butter.
They come 6 to a pack. That orange.
God, that's as
It used-
dry as that damn
It used to
sandwich
make
you're
him
eating.
so mad because I wouldn't eat the regular ones like the Ritz ones with the peanut butter in there, but the orange colored ones. That's what we have in my console. If you get hungry,
All right, Tim, you boat snack.
Boat snack. I like either the cheese and peanut butter crackers
Yeah,
or the cheese and cheese crackers.
cheese and cheese.
Yeah,
is okay.
the orange ones. You got the cheese spread or whatever in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's it.
that's
All right,
real
what
cheese,
about
dude.
you?
Peanut butter and honey cracker, but that's if I'm by myself. If I got somebody with me, I won't eat because they'll get crumbs all over the damn boat.
I didn't eat in his boat during any tournament.
You
I just
asked
want
me,
that
I'm telling
noted
you,
right
I'm
now.
telling you the God honest truth.
I was scared to put a dip in when
You
I get
ask
in
my
Kevin's
kids.
boat. It is the cleanest boat in the history of the world.
It just drives me up a wall when they break a cheese cracker and they step on it and it's in that carpet, or somebody eats a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and I got strawberry down on the floor. I'm cleaning it before I start fishing again.
Oh, I believe you. I mean, you waxed the clear coat off your boat.
I did.
Yeah, I mean,
I
did I ever
felt-
tell you that? He waxed the clear cut. Hard to beat Mr. Bill Payne's bologna sandwich. I like it if it's cold. If it's cold, a little shot of Jack, something like that. That keep you going all day like that. I like, y'all gonna think I'm crazy. I like blue cheese stuffed olives. Jason seen me eat them. You said I've eaten them on your boat.
I bought a jar today, as a matter of fact.
Did you buy some of that?
Blue cheese stuffed olives.
They're
The
amazing.
big olives, too.
Big olives.
Yep.
Big old water cheese in the middle of them. You don't like that?
I'll be pulling the Kevin with that blue cheese off the
I
back.
can eat blue cheese
I
by
can-
spoonfuls.
I can be buried in blue cheese. I love it.
I don't mind it. It's just it ain't gonna stay with me very long.
Sometimes for lunch, I'll go up here to this grocery store and I'll buy a wedge of blue cheese and just bring it back and eat it. I love that stuff.
I'll take it.
Peanut butter cheese crackers with the Coke. I get that. Vienna sausages with crackers. Now I can eat a lot of things. I do. I love potted meat. I
I
love
eat
all
Vienna
kinds of canned
sausages.
meat, but I ain't a fan of Vienna
I
sausages.
can eat those. I can eat potted meat.
You eat that old jelly on top of it?
you ever read the
No,
ingredients of
you
potted
crack the
meat?
top.
It's ass and tongues.
It's defatted fat tissue.
Yeah.
Deep fatted fat
That's
tissue.
what it says on
It's a healthy option, Kevin. You crack the pot, you have to crack the Vienna sausage open a little bit so you can get the pour
Yeah.
the juice out, stick it in the water, wash it stuff off in the lake.
So what you tell me is you got to wash the taste off.
Well, you got to wash all that goop off.
You just crack the lid because if you open it all the way up and you shake it like this to get the juice out, they'll fall out into the lake.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
I've done that too.
And if it's real cold, it turns into jello around
That's
them, and
right.
it won't come out at all.
Yeah, you don't
The
have to
gel,
chew it.
yeah.
Okay, so what is that jelly stuff made of? If it's defatted fat,
I don't know what the broth is. I have
it's
no
not
idea.
broth.
There's
It's a
no
gel.
gelatin.
I mean, it's
It's got some kind
It's
of
a
gelatin.
broth.
It's probably just juice and gelatin. If I had
It's
to
a
guess.
broth. I guarantee you.
Anthony Hampton. What is the first ingredient of a Vienna sausage?
Wieners.
Well, he said defatted fat tissue. I just thought it was ass and lips.
No, I said defatted fat tissues in it.
In it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hot dog is what it is. It's hot dog water, and it's gross.
You
But I
don't know
love
what
hot
goes
dogs.
into a hot dog.
Oh, I don't care as long as it goes to quick
You
check. Get
don't
some
wanna know
jalapenos
what
and
goes
cheese
in
in it.
That's some ketchup on
Mustard, just mustard. On
Mustard
hot dog.
only.
it.
Yep.
No.
Mustard only on a
Blue
hot dog.
plate.
In 2024, I finally, for the first time, put mayonnaise on a hot dog bun and ate it. And
Changed
it
your
is,
life,
it is
won't it?
good. It is good. It's collagen, says Ron.
Dude.
It's all lips and butt, but it's all good. Ain't nothing wrong with lips and butts. Mechanically separated chicken. Danny, what's
Mechanically
I-
separated.
Grinder.
Grinder.
Was that by
He eats
Ford
cold
or
weenies.
Dodge?
Danny, what's the worst food to eat the night before a fishing trip? I got a
Probably my etouffee. Yes.
no. It
Ken.
didn't bother me.
It tore Ken up.
I got a belly like a billy goat. It
Mexican.
don't bother me. No,
Mexican. For me, it is.
Mexican.
Oh, yeah. The
By
night
9
before, I
o'clock,
don't
them
want it.
jalapenos start kicking.
Yeah.
No, Tim. What's the thing to eat? I eat everything.
I'm like a garbage disposal.
That's what I'm
Most
saying.
stuff doesn't bother me.
The two short, fat white dudes are like,
The-
"Ah,
the
hell,
one-
bring it on."
Yeah, we can eat anything. And we might have to be careful about drinking. If we got on a whizzer the night before, we might not be so fresh the next day. But as
Last
far as
Sat-
food, nah,
Last
man.
Saturday night, that salted caramel Crown Royal come out. You ever had any of that?
I haven't had that.
Kiefer,
one.
you're right, Tony.
Oh, kefir. Yeah, he likes to drink a gallon of
Danny,
kefir.
yeah,
Now,
Danny likes
kefir,
some kefir.
You don't need no kefir. Well, hell, you wouldn't make it to the tournament the next day. I mean, that's about 2 hours.
You'd have your own tournament.
That'd be like that
2
gallon
hours.
of G juice I just drank for that procedure. It was,
You look like you were happy drinking that.
man,
stuff.
I was tearing that stuff up. They need to put alcohol in it.
Yeah, so you can go get your butt checked drunk.
Yeah, start the party soon.
How can I ask you though, honestly?
Yeah.
Honest question, because I'm supposed to have
Hold on,
one of
let me-
those.
Go ahead.
I just want to. I'm being serious. I'd rather shit in the box.
That's what I did.
Where'd that
Okay.
come from?
No, because he just got plugged or whatever it was. What's it called? Colonoscopy.
Yeah,
He got checked. First of all, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay,
Everything came out great.
We got a clean bill of health.
In the end,
Clean.
Literally.
Clean bill.
I
Idiot.
literally got a clean bill of health.
Okay.
That hour sleep was the best sleep I've had. And I don't know when. I was actually a little ticked when they woke me up. I could have stayed that way for a few hours.
Oh, so
and
you
felt
like being
great.
violated for hours?
I'd
as
have
long as you
no
sleep.
knowledge of it, so it's okay.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna ask you, how much honestly in weight do you think passed through your body? Like honestly, because you were there. I mean, how much honestly, how much?
My
that stuff-
pants are loose right now. I feel great. I'm down to 205, and I should have weighed beforehand, but I'm guarantee you I lost 5 to 8 pounds. No joke.
That's how much stuff is in our bodies.
It's that bad. And after you have that done, I mean, you're right as rain. You everything's great. The world's a better place.
Okay, I will do that.
you weren't talking about goat's milk, were you?
Yeah, goat's milk.
The goat's milk saying
Yeah, what's the goat's milk saying?
you need to get your wife some goat's milk because it'll make her butt better.
Make her butt better.
Yeah.
Was it butt better or butt back?
No, butt better.
But yeah, that's right. It was butt better.
That's what it was. Okay, I got you like that.
That was what
we
he was
only
saying.
lost 7 viewers during that part of the episode. So
They're
that's
just
good.
laughing and drop their phone.
that
They'll be
what it
right
is?
back.
All right, let's do this. Grab me a couple packs of those things if you don't. We're
Oh,
gonna
I
have to. Huh?
Go ahead.
You just put your chew in.
I'm ready.
Are you ready to go? All right, it's time to do the question of the night. Let's pull up our fine sponsor, at least for this night before he fires us. Right there. So our friends over at Serve IT. Guys, if your company is looking for a complete and total IT service management company, Serve IT is a company for you. They have a one-stop that solves every one of your problems right there. Customer service oriented, the best in the business. If your company is looking for that, check out Serve IT. And also, if you are in or thinking about getting in the IT industry and you are a go-getter, they are looking for people that have the right attitude, customer service oriented. Hey, you might not be doing IT. It's okay. They can train you from start to finish. Check them out. It might be the career change that you need. So we appreciate Serve IT, Alan and the guys. And so what we're going to do, we're going to give away some more of these Stagger weedless swim baits. Now, again, this is a new company. Well, it's not a new company. This is a company that Spro is going to be bringing over here. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing the actual company's name right. It's Hideup or Hidiup, or I don't know. It's HIDEUP by Spro. So they're going to start bringing these over. And we're going to have 3 packs of these swim baits tonight if you get the question of the week. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
How many answers to the question?
It only has one answer.
Okay. Okay, well, go ahead. Shoot it out there.
You will need pencil and paper for this.
Oh, good gosh.
The question is regarding 4 MPFL pros: Will Harmon, Trent Palmer, Jake Maddox, and Rob Robleski. Take their combined third day weight, total weight, that is, and tell us what the difference is in weight between Bill Gailey's total weight for the tournament. In other words, take their third day's weight for those 4 MPFL guys and either plus or minus what Bailey's weight was and tell me the difference.
Okay, so you're adding up them 4 for day 3.
Day 3 now, you got to remember, day 1 was canceled.
So final day.
Day 3, final
three.
day.
All right, 4.7 pounds.
You're wrong.
Okay, that was first answer right there. So hell, I ain't got a clue. So everybody's got they're doing that, trying to get these baits. And so Brooks Anderson has a boat full of Uncrustables. But honestly, food-wise, on a boat, beef jerky always works well. Beef
It
jerky is
does.
a good option.
And I tell you what, in the summertime, I eat a pineapple sandwich.
Why?
It's hard to beat a
Suddenly the room
pineapple
went
sandwich.
quiet.
Yeah.
Huh?
Why a pineapple sandwich?
It's refreshing. 2 pieces of bunny bread,
My wife
blue
eats those
plate
with
mayo,
mayonnaise.
and you get the pineapple rings, and you put 2 of them on there and stagger them so they fit the bread. Put them in a little container and stick them in the ice chest.
Do you eat them peaches that during the holidays? As peach is a big wad of mayonnaise and a cherry on top,
That's pears.
pears or whatever the hell it is. I don't eat the thing.
If it's got mayonnaise on it, I'll just about eat it. As long as it's not Hellman's. I
Okay.
don't fool with Hellman's.
You don't fool with helmets. Okay, you guys keep going in that. We're going to continue our conversation while you guys, you know the answer, right, Tim?
I'm trying to decipher this hieroglyphics that was sent back here.
Kevin wrote. Kevin, you know this. You watched the comments.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm watching.
something else in 20.
Kevin, is it what you wrote is a total?
At the bottom, you'll see the difference.
It's like the show always comes to a stop when they try to answer your question.
You see the bottom?
Where it's got the equal sign?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Miracle Whip or nothing.
Bar Dog, I'm with you, but I only Miracle Whip on a tomato sandwich. That's hard to beat on the boat, too.
A tomato sandwich on the boat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lots of pepper.
Tomato with lots of pepper. That's what I'm talking about.
So,
And a slice of cheese.
No cheese.
No cheese.
okay, what brand of cheese? Are we talking about like Kraft Singles?
Boar's head.
Boar's Head. So fancy cheese.
Remember, he is Publix. He's not going to eat any wrapper cheese. That stuff's going to be from
I
the
do like
deli.
wrapper cheese.
That's me and Tim back here. We're eating the little singles.
Yeah,
The
we
singles?
poor man's cheese.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's probably not even real cheese.
It's, I mean, anything you can take a light or two and light, you probably not should be eating it.
It's okay.
But you can do that. Duke's mayo. I like Duke's. I converted just right after COVID. I was a blue plate guy. We got to talk about fishing or something.
Okay.
So, okay, anything else in 24 that really stands out to you? Other than Bassmaster Elite's changing their schedule or anything like that. How about bait wise or anything? I mean, was there a hot bait this year?
Oh, man.
Minnow bait.
That's true.
The riser.
That's been around a couple of years.
But it came into fruition earlier this year.
The
Yeah.
new Rapala stuff,
The Crush City
the
stuff.
Crush City stuff, I fished with some of it. It's really good. That Sakamata.
Yeah, we can't get them things anywhere.
No, dude, that thing's locked down.
The Icon bass boat.
Yeah, the Icon bass
that?
boat.
Icon bass
Bass boat.
boats. But, you
It's
know,
a good looking rig.
it's an expensive rig,
It's
Very
but it's a
expensive.
good looking rig.
It's got some really cool bells and whistles,
Yeah.
though.
He's
got some
coming
good
out with a
features.
cheaper model too. The 20
He's got
footer.
actually Kyle Welcher won Angler of the Year out of the lower price. He's got two,
Right?
and he actually won it out of his small little local lake boat. He fished out of. It wasn't his regular tour boat.
The Hellraiser. That's the most gimmicky
Oh,
bait
God.
I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I sold one
You
today.
can't give them
I sold. No, I actually sold one today.
You should feel bad.
I
That-
don't. It was $14.99 in
You
my
should-
pocket.
You should have given him. You should have given
He
him
was
14.
probably a really good bait about March or April in any farm pond around here.
If you
probably
bought
could bid on
the Hellraiser today at Fish North Georgia, we certainly hope you catch a fish on it.
We do. We do. It's not my favorite.
It's not about you.
His farmer's favorite.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it's gimmicky.
Yeah.
I can tell you at ICAST going down there, and one thing that I didn't like was how I was looking at a lot of the new baits and stuff, and the guys when they're going for baits of the year or new product of the year, they don't have a chance. Hey, listen, Tritt, I was probably drinking. He said you sold me one. You said listen, Tritt, I love you.
We said we hope you
You're
catch a
close,
fish
Joshua.
on it.
I love you. Swim Trex Max, Vertrex Max. I have no idea what that is, Robert Brett.
I don't. It must be a new bait or something.
New bet. I tell you what, but at ICAST, the small guy does not have a chance to win product of the year. And I think
No, he
Tim,
does not.
I think Tim, yeah, you were down there for a day.
No,
you
he does
experienced it.
not.
You don't because Danny, what is your best selling rattle trap bait out by your way? Let me defer to my left because he throws the trap. I don't throw it very much.
I do throw a trap a lot.
Hey, Trent, it was a great bait, dude. It really is a great bait.
It was the packaging was good. It wasn't torn.
Yeah.
None of that.
Never used.
His
Yeah.
return.
It was not pre-tuned. The trap. I actually throw a bunch of different ones. I throw the Bill Lewis stuff. I just got into the Spro stuff. They make a good one.
Yeah, Ruku
The
Shad or whatever.
Ruka or the Wakupa or something.
Hell, I can't pronounce it.
One with the Spros, I learned one's a rattler, one's a one knocker. Both of those are going to be big players. That new hammer trap is really good. It's a knocker style bait. Doesn't have a real sharp nose, so it comes to grass really well. My biggest thing is I make sure I have the rattles and the knockers, because there are days where you can catch them on the rattlers and they won't touch a knocker, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
But those three brands are Lewis and Spro. I do throw some old Lucky Crafts. I still catch them on it too, but
Yeah. Ron, pull up Ron's. Danny, do you think, where's it at? Pop that up there.
Yeah.
Can't get it to go.
Do you think on the final day of ICAST they should open it up to the public? I'm going to say no, and here's why. Not because I don't think the public needs to be in there, but by the last day of ICAST, everybody's ready to go home. The pros that have been there are ready to get. They've done their duty, and they're ready to get out there. I would say
If they're not already gone.
they're gone. If you're going to open ICAST up to any day, it should be the first day.
You can't buy a thing anyway, so
Yeah, Kevin came down there with a wad of cash thinking he was going to buy product, and it wasn't.
I couldn't even buy a damn hat.
no.
Tim and I went over to buy a hat and we couldn't buy it.
Had you hung around though, they'd give you that stuff towards the end of the week.
Yeah.
Done that.
I will say that if for ICAST, if I was a company and if they decided to ever sell, that'd be the thing to do, is open on the last day and clean all that crap out so you'd have to haul it back to where it came from.
Bubba had some rods down there, and they had a display and had rods in it still left in there. And they gave us rods for every guy we had down there, and the display it's sitting in my
They
store.
didn't want to have to haul it back home.
They did not want to have to haul it back. They
Speaking
gave
of
away-
that, did they ever get in contact with you, or did we just get a rod holder and rods dumped on us before we left?
You talking about for the TV show?
Just Bubba in general. Yeah, did they contact you?
Yeah, we
Because I know we were trying to wrap up, and all of a sudden this big display comes by with some rods, and that guy's like, "Hey, these are yours," and turned around and ran.
Yeah,
Like
I still
like
use, I
Dixie.
use that one. I got a spinning rod out of it. Now it's made for, I think, inshore fishing.
Yeah, they're tidal rods.
But I use it on Lanier and all that. I love it. But to answer your question, I really think the way ICAST is set up, you're trying to make connections between the retailer and the companies. So
You're close, Darian.
they're down there. Darian, you're close. He said they're down there focusing on trying to get you to put their product in your store.
They're writing POs.
That 100%. So they have ICAST deals and all that.
Joshua Good's close.
Okay, so you guys are really close.
I'm
Keep
trying to
on
get them boosted. They've got a couple of they're getting in the ballpark.
Okay, so they're still losing 21-16. So
They're gaining though.
they're gaining. Georgia Southern score right there. So, but that's the thing with ICAST is it's a different mentality down there than say if you go to the Classic or something like that. The public down there, it's really crowded without the public.
Wife sent me that just now.
10 pounds, 14 ounces. You caught this fish January 29th, 1984.
In Lake Tahoe.
You're a good looking fella. You know who you look like? You got a little Guido Hibden going on down there. Just, I guess, because of the old photograph. It might be that hat. That's a big fish. What'd you catch it on?
Gambler worm.
Gambler worm.
Back then we used to throw sluggos too instead of flukes.
Yeah.
It's called a sluggo back then.
Sluggo. Yeah, I remember that. Well, I don't remember that. Yeah, I'm aware.
Speaking of that, what about the wing flukes that's come out this year?
the wing flukes.
That's a hot topic.
It
Anybody
was,
fished
but I think
them?
it faded really quick.
Yeah,
I think anybody that wants a wing thing, that we're going with that Sakamata.
soccer
That's
mom.
basically the
It
same
was a
thing.
Sakamata.
They're getting much closer.
I think the wing fluke kind of, to me, I threw it.
Joshua,
Joshua got it.
Joshua got it.
2-8.
2-8.
There you go. All right, Joshua, I got your address. I'll send you these things tomorrow. So appreciate you and Darren going at it like that. So the wing fluke, it came out. It was hot for a minute, and it has very much just kind of cooled off. Not that it's a bad bait,
No,
but the hype around it is not the.
yeah,
It's not what I thought it would be.
and especially with if you compare it to the Rapala stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you got a lot more social media. Not that the Zoom guys aren't pushing social media, but some of the bigger names are the Kyle Welchers, the Jacob Wheelers, the Dustin Connells. They're in YouTube, on social all the time, and they're pushing this stuff. And that's, especially for a younger crowd, that's who they're kind of flocking to.
Do you think older companies like Zoom, Ron says, I think the Zoom wing flukes were not as good as the other baits. And I think that's, you know,
I hadn't
the
thrown those.
Credge. Yeah, the Credge come out kind of hot.
Yep.
And guys still throw it. But what I found interesting about the Credge is guys like Emil and all that were using it for topwater, like a riser bait instead of they used it for its intended purpose, but they used it more so as a riser. So that's one thing, though, when we're talking about ICAST, is that got voted hard bait of the year, the Credge.
I wouldn't know anything. I've never thrown one.
There were
What-
some good looking baits down there too that were better than that.
Oh, there was some really hot looking stuff down there.
I'm telling you.
But again, it goes back to a bigger company
Mm-hmm.
with a bigger advertising budget. Not that this is not knocking the Credge at all as far as a bait. That's the problem with ICAST is you go down there and you know the companies that have invested getting people's eyes on their baits because they got the finances and the resources to send out those emails, to send out, hey, this is going to be in for bait of the year at ICAST. We're going to enter this. And you got the pros that are pushing the bait. So it's very hard for a smaller company getting started, even if their bait were to work 300 times more to win that product of the year, which goes a long way in marketing to say, hey,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
you know, I got a wall full of Berkeley slobber knockers back there. It's not a terrible bait. It was bait of the year at ICAST. Jackhammer, 5-1 every time people, as far as people shopping. Jackhammer.
Yeah.
Even and it
Well,
could,
you'll hear the pros talking about a slobber knocker.
yeah, but it was the bait of
Except
the
for
year.
ones that have to throw it.
It was the bait of the year.
You know what?
And I'm not saying it's a bad bait.
A good bait, and it's really not a bait, but a tackle item. That cast braid that you got me to try,
Ain't that the shit?
that is the bomb.
You know who got me to try it? Jason over there.
That stuff is not the tensile strength. I haven't had a problem with it yet, so I don't know. But I'm telling you, for casting purposes,
Jason told me that. He said,
Unbelievable.
He said throw it, and I picked up his rod and I throw it, and I was just like, because he'd been telling me how good it was, and I was like,
you don't hear it go through the line guides or
No.
nothing. It's just so smooth.
it's stupid. It's stupid. And so Jason over there, he convinced me of that, and then I got him to send me some. Danny, what's your number one seller as far as line and soft plastic brands out there? Anything Seagar is, as far as your fluorocarbons and all that. At least that's what I see moving more. We are in Seagar country.
I
Yeah.
use cigar.
I use
Seagar country. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm saying that's what moves. Soft plastic brands out here, depends on what you're looking for. If you're a loyalist, they're going to buy Zoom. You can have Zoom in your tackle shop. It's going to sell no matter what. But I would say, depending on the lake, your robo worms work very well. You talking about the minnows and stuff, your Crush City stuff. Your Kitex did not sell as good this year as they have in years past because I think guys are going more towards the, the fluke style bait because of forward facing sonar. I did notice this year that spinner baits did not sell as good as years past, but jig sales were still on par. A lot of people say because of forward facing sonar, and you hear this again on social media, that on the YouTube and all that it's putting certain companies out of business because everybody's moving over to the forward facing stuff. And that might be true, but I would say as far as jigs, that stayed steady. Your trick worms, all that kind of stuff. Certain brands are going to sell no matter what. What discontinued bait from the past would y'all like to see make a comeback? Discontinued bait from the past.
That's a good question. Let's think.
It's not discontinued, but I still don't understand why people don't throw the old school floating Rapala as much as they used to. It's not discontinued. I caught so many fish on that growing up.
That's all we had back then.
Yeah, but why wouldn't it still work? Other than it's balsa and it's light and you can't throw it as far. That's the one drawback.
I still throw it. I throw it at Gunnersville
At Gunnersville,
because it's just so shallow.
yeah, you have to. So it doesn't. I mean, as for discontinued, that's a tough one. I mean, I'm still relatively young. What about you, Tim? You know of a discontinued bait?
I can't think of one that's discontinued. I mean, there's lots of old stuff.
I will tell you this. It's a true story since Jason's here. First time I ever seen a bubblegum colored trick worm. He was throwing it on me and him were over on these lakes over by my house, and he pulled that out, and I thought that was the most gimmicky looking colored bait
It catches.
I'd ever seen. And I don't know if he remembers that day, but I do remember it because after he had done waxed my ass like 6-0, I was like, give me one of them things. But I remember the first time he threw, and I thought that was a bait color that would not last. It's not discontinued, but I mean, just thinking of stuff.
I'd like to see a sputter spoon come back. I think it's called a sputter spoon.
A sputter spoon.
It's a
Oh, I know the answer.
little shorter than
there.
a quarter-ounce buzz bait.
What's that? The Rapala Wake Minnow 6-inch. What are we looking at?
Wiggle
Gambler
Wart.
Bacon Rind.
The original.
The original Wiggle Wart. Yeah, that's a good one right there. That makes sense.
Those things are worth money.
Lots of.
Oh, there you go. They're worth lots of money. It's not a discontinued product, but I would like Zebco. If you're gonna make a freaking Zebco 33, make them like you made them when I was a kid.
With metal gears.
Metal.
That
More
plastic
fish has
stuff.
probably been caught on a Zebco 33 than any other reel ever made. But the ones you get now are absolute trash.
They don't last very long.
I'm talking about going back so far that you had to have the screwdriver or the dime or penny to unlock.
Yeah.
That's what my daddy had, and that's all he would fish with was a Zebco 33. And I don't know. I mean, I beat them things to death, and they'd still cast. So it's not discontinued. I wish they would make them like they used to make them. So I would love to see the man's big curl tail worm come back. Yeah. I mean, there's so many baits. Y'all remember the Bango lure? It was basically a floating kind of Rapala style bait, just a little bit bigger. The Bango lure.
Yeah.
You know, you could get those. I don't really know of a retired bait that I'd like to see. Wiggle Wart's a good answer, as good as anything.
Yeah, I can't think of any that are totally discontinued.
So Far Dog says, I got 26 old Wiggle Warts and I'm not selling any of them. Sorry. So
I wouldn't either.
how about this? Has anybody ever fished with a banjo minnow?
Yes.
You have fished with a banjo minnow.
Yeah.
Did you catch fish with it?
No, I fished with a dancing eel and caught just about as many fish with it too.
Really?
Mhm.
You remember, what's that
You
big,
still got it?
No,
I still got two of them.
really.
do you?
I got the minnow still in the.
Craven
box.
Moorhead. So not many people remember them good old bangle lures like that. Jason, was there anything we used to throw? We always just do plastic worms and stuff. I'm trying to think of a discontinued bait.
Staying shad.
A stay-in shad.
Remember that?
No, I don't remember the stay-in shad.
That's a crankbait that you crank down and stay there.
A crankbait that you would stay down there and crank down to it and it would stay there. I don't remember that. And I didn't throw crankbaits as much. Hell, I couldn't throw it in my daddy's lake.
I got a bait from this year that might be a good topic.
What's the bait from this year?
Has anyone out there fished the Hybrid Hunter by Strike King? The big weird looking
Yes.
thing with the L.
Yes.
You know, there was a buttload of hype from a few people that helped design it.
They can.
I won't
catch
mention
fish.
Todd Castledine's name, but it was all over the place. Has anybody that had success?
Did you say you have fished it?
Yep.
It was good?
I didn't catch a thing. But I tell you what, that thing hunts.
That thing hunts and it doesn't go deep. So
Somebody on this podcast talked about it.
No.
no, but it's just
Oh, okay.
popped up everywhere. Strike
Farmer
King
says
put
he
it
has.
out. It's supposed to be real good for grass.
Farmer says I love that crankbait.
There you go.
He probably eats just straight cheese sandwiches like you do too. So I've
I-
caught a few on the Hybrid Hunter Junior. I've not fished.
I
it.
prefer the junior over the full size one.
Yeah, the junior.
How come people don't throw, other than Kevin, don't throw the what's that top water bait you throw?
Plopper.
No, shit, no, it ain't popper. The old school one that stays on top, jitterbug.
Jitterbug.
Oh, a jitterbug at night?
Yeah. How come nobody throws a jitterbug anymore? Except for you. You throw them.
Occasionally at night on the night tournaments, I do. Yeah.
Dwayne
I don't
Rogers,
throw it in the morning. Though.
Bagley Bangalore. I traded 9 bags of Zoom sandworms for 2 last year. I remember those, Dwayne, and they were good.
That was probably one of their first lures they came out with, Bagley.
It was good. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was a little bit wider. You could get them a little bit longer than the floating
They
Rapala.
were out of Winter Haven or somewhere in Florida, somewhere like that.
I don't remember. Did you ever throw Doug Hannon's snakehead it was that
Oh, yeah.
plastic snakehead that you could put like a big old
Worm on the
42-inch
back.
worm on the back,
Yep.
make it look like a snake going through the water?
I still got one of those.
Do you really?
We did try one of them in the grass. See what
That
happens.
might work.
Grass mat.
There's no grass up here.
There ain't no grass.
I
up
know.
there.
I know 2 different places there are.
Are there any fans of the wood baits like Tennessee, North Carolina style cranks? And does anyone have a Moto Minnow? I do not, Doc.
I don't know what that is.
I don't. Moto Minnow. I've heard of it, but I can tell you I don't have one. So yeah, I'm not lying. I have one of those snake lures, and I've caught fish on it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly what you mean by the wood baits like Tennessee, North Carolina
Some
style
of those
cranks.
are
Like handmade ones. Are they balsa?
A lot of them are.
Okay, I mean I've caught fish. I mean a lot of the Rapalas used to be, some still are balsa. And so I'll do it. What about the Bill Dance 12-inch buzz bait? Good Lord,
Never
no.
saw that.
Bill Dance did come out though during this is mid to late 80s. It was a crawdad looking bait that really at that time looked like a realistic crawdad.
You reel backwards?
Yes.
Tied it? I had some of those.
I caught some fish out of my daddy's lake, but like after the show, you'll have to ask Jason about my dad's lake. It was maybe not even an acre and it was nothing but a stump field. But it had big bass in it. It had big bass in it. Maybe only 4, but we caught them all. It's a niche category. So no, I don't throw them.
What about the old Pose crankmates?
I don't remember them.
Pose, POE.
Dances Crawl, Brian Justice. I think that's what it was called.
Maybe so.
I got them at the Kmart.
The
That's how long ago we're
I'll tell you
talking.
another good one that's not made anymore is the EC crankbaits. Oh, Ed Chambers that he made. That on Zoom, he made custom crankbaits, and they were
Really? You know, Zoom got into some stuff at one time, like those on the Georgia blade. Those
That's right, Ron.
what's that blade that they got? Oh, good grief! I can't think of the name. It's that special blade that they got on some of theirs, and I don't know why it's escaping my memory right this second. But they actually got those from Zoom. They went and bought all that he had, and they use them now. But that's an old Zoom creation right there. Terminator spinnerbait. I remember that one, Craftmaster.
Are the
Absolutely.
Pose still in? Is Pose a discontinued bait, or did the design get bought out by someone else?
I don't know. I do not know.
I think a bigger company may have absorbed them.
It might-
Who?
Pose. They
Jim
still make
Harder
Pose?
Gulp crankbaits.
No, I don't think they were bought out. If they were, nobody's making them like that.
The most gimmick bait is the Mega Bass Dark Sleeper crap, and that crawl they make. I have not done the old bulldog jig. You guys are throwing them out there now. I don't remember a lot of this. My jig fishing back then was just a big old jig with a Uncle Josh pork trailer, that green with the spots on top of it.
Yeah.
Back in the day, if you weren't throwing a pig and jig on a black and blue jig, you weren't catching, Larry Hunt. That's exactly what I was talking about there, man. I remember getting that, and I don't remember the brand of the jigs, but it had a Uncle Josh, and if you didn't take it off that day, and I don't know how many times I got in
couldn't
trouble.
get it off.
No, you had to have a sawzall to get it off.
Larry just made Uncle Randy smile.
Uncle Randy Smile.
He's always talking about them pig and jigs.
Listen, you know they're available again now.
Yep.
You can get them now. They ain't cheap.
No, they're packed too.
No.
The Gulp crankbait is plug spelled backwards. I was this days old when I learned that right there.
Well, I'll be darned.
Think of that. The Gulp crankbait is plug spelled backwards.
Hmm.
I'll be doggone, Anthony. There you go.
That
Wilt-
could have been a question of the week, and he just blew it.
Well, just remember that for like next year. Pull up Wilt Music because I've not recognized that name before right there. So I appreciate you joining us tonight. Walmart used to sell a renegade worm with a small curly tail, purple and pink, or fire and ice. Caught many farm pond fish on a split shot rig.
They still sell renegade worms.
Do they really?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. Little George by Mans is one of my all-time favorite. Yeah. Cody Campbell, I forgot to check my YouTube notifications, but I'm here. Hey, better late than never, big dog right there. Christopher Smith, the old Bomber A bone white on tuna. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Is that Guthrie behind y'all? Walton Doyle. I don't think so. Or you ain't known as Guthrie, are you? It is Guthrie. Yes, it's Guthrie behind us. Yeah, there you go. Give my hands up, Guthrie. I done forgot is that what your name is? I thought it was something else. Guthrie. What's your last name? Guthrie's your last name. What's your first name? Huh? Okay, so that's the name. And I forgot your last name right there. And I was like, his name ain't Guthrie. All right, so I agree with Christopher Smith, the long A bomber. Yeah, and you can't get all the colors. Like I can get them at Pittman Creek, but some of the colors that people want that were real popular back in the
That's
day.
the one Will talked about one time on here.
That's what he did. And in 2 days in that MPFL tournament, he threw that and was leading and then stuck it. Night boys, time to flip on the side and pitch a jig. Night boys, yeah, time to flip one on the side and pitch a jig. I get it. Let's do this because we're hour and a half in the show. In 25, and you guys take part in this too in the comment section. what would you either A, expect to see in 25, like to see in 25, as far as in the fishing industry, or maybe a shocker that we don't know is coming?
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna do local though.
Go local.
I want to see the ramps extended on Allatoona.
Ain't never going to happen.
Well, you asked me what I wanted to see.
Yeah. And then I just crushed your dreams.
You did.
I don't know why they don't do it.
You
though.
keep saying you're going to do something about that. You're going to post something or write something about Allatoona with the Corps of Engineers, but you haven't done that yet. So you're going to have to take time away from the jigs. How'd you like that, Tim?
Tim, did I just get
Scold him, Daddy. Scold him.
I just got in trouble on my own damn show.
You just got scolded. The tribal elder
Oh,
has
there you
spoken.
go, Anthony. Docks,
Extend the
not ramps.
docks, not the ramps.
Yeah, that's what I meant, the docks.
Well, that's why when you said ramps, I was like,
Well, the damn ramps probably need to be extended too. I'll take whatever I can get.
the docks on altitude.
You know, that is a problem. Some of them you
Daddy
go backing
just
off
told
down
you.
there, and next thing you know, your trailer just drops
Yeah.
off.
Okay, so I'd like to see all the controversy about forward facing sonar in. Me too, but okay.
Look at the docks on Allatoona. popping
Mega.
up.
Oh, pull that up there at the beginning. Going up. I want to make sure I'm going to read it first before I try to pronounce it. Make sure ain't nobody giving me one of them crazy names. Megan Zoe Jones Prince.
You did good.
Forward facing sonar complete package for under $500. You know what though? Think about that. What he's saying real quick. When plasma TVs and all that stuff came out, and these big screen TVs, they used to be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Then you got other companies involved in the price. You can go get a damn 200-inch TV at Walmart for $179.99 this week, probably. Why is that not happening in forward facing sonar? Now, there is that Japanese company that's got the one they're trying to come out with that works with an iPad, but it does not work with any of our brands. Why is there not a cheap, economical version of good forward-facing sonar?
Could it be patent pending?
I don't know.
Because it's still a luxury.
Well, so is a 200-inch TV. It should be anyway.
A TV. How many TVs?
But
you
it
got in
took a
your
while
house?
for those TVs to come out like that.
I'm different. I only have two.
All right, I own about 6.
Yeah.
So the TV's not really much. To me, a luxury for a TV is a damn thing not to be on.
Well, that's a good point. That is a good point.
But I mean, everything in fishing is still a luxury.
But you see what I'm saying, though?
I do. I just don't know they're going to come down anytime soon.
It should, though. There was some scroll on up. There was a couple of comments. So Wilt Music, that was Silver Punk. I want to not get skunked in tournaments. I'll be fishing for the first time in 25. Keep your head up and learn. It will happen. Excited to see our local boys on the elite stage. That was going to be mine. I'm gonna make a bold prediction here. I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I'm going to say right now that either Paul Jr. or Emil, I don't give a shit which one, they'll win a tournament this year. One of them two. It would not shock me for them to win a tournament this year. Did they go to Hartwell?
I don't know.
I didn't even see the elite
I
schedule.
haven't
I ain't
looked at
paid no
schedule.
attention to it.
I haven't seen it. I saw it, but I don't remember.
If nothing else, at least a top 5 finish.
Oh, we'll be seeing them for sure.
A top 5 finish. Because I think this rookie class coming in is stronger than this past year's rookie class as a whole. Or at least on par.
I don't want to live on the difference.
Yeah. They're good.
They're very good.
They're good. And they didn't ban the forward facing. I think one of them will win or at least get a top 5. That is that.
Yeah.
Dane says more TVs are sold, Junior. That makes sense. See, that is true. More TVs are sold. But you would think if you could come out with a complete $500 forward-facing sonar, how many you would sell?
A bunch.
A bunch.
If it worked.
And we ain't talking about them things you put on your rod and throw out there. It looks like a bobber and that's a fish finder. I'm talking about something you can mount to your boat that would sell. But that is a good point. Let's see. Craven Moorhead, pull that up. Forward-facing sonar is ruining fishing. The fish get harder to catch every day, and if you would do away with it, the fishing would accumulate and be as good as it was before forward-facing sonar. All right. I'm going to give you some information. This is not an opinion. Texas Park and Wildlife did a study in 22-23 where they this study, and you can find it online, where they took for 1 year, and I haven't read it completely, but I got the overviews of it, and they tracked the catch rate of guys with forward-facing sonar and without forward-facing sonar. And you won't hear Randy Blockett or any of them talking about this. Guys with forward-facing sonar averaged for the entire year 1 more fish per day than guys without forward-facing sonar. So then my question is, are the fish getting harder to catch? Maybe, but the guys without it are catching fish. And would the fishing be better? I don't know. Now, again, that's a study that kind of opened my eyes to it. And that was sponsored by the Texas Park and Wildlife. So they did that study between 22 and 23. And forward-facing sonar anglers only averaged 1 more fish per day than guys without forward-facing sonar. So what does that say?
I'd like to see that survey done between 23 and 24, or 24 and 25 coming up, because I think more people are using forward-facing sonar.
No, that's
today.
a possibility. I can't say it. But is it really?
That just really got going in 22, 23.
Well, it had been in the crappie world, though, for quite a while. So forward-facing's been
Well, is
out
he
a while.
talking about bass now? Not
I would say he's
crappie?
talking about bass.
Yeah.
But I just saw that study, and I'm like, okay, what?
I think it's interesting, the study. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not disputing what he's saying. I'm just saying, hey, I want to throw this out there and check that study out and see if it kind of sways you just a little bit. I'm still, and this is unpopular, and this is 100% theory, that I think on Lake Lanier, the reason the largemouth bass are doing better is because more guys are fishing away from the bank. I could be wrong. I think there's
Those
less-
fish have always been out there. It's just now we found them. They've always been there.
Thinking the Toys for Tots tournament, 97 boats. How many of those boats were bank beaters, which I am a bank beater? How many of them are out fishing deep? I know the guys were the good, some of the better known guys were going, they were going south and they were going deep. If we didn't have forward facing sonar, those guys would still be beating the banks a lot more. But I don't know if that's the reason. Yeah, the lake stayed up the last couple of years, which is good for largemouth. That is just a Danny Pruitt off the wall, what I think about late at night kind of stuff. And I'm like, I wonder if we're seeing better largemouth because more guys are fishing away from the banks.
I don't know.
I mean, I can't prove
I
that.
only catch largemouth in one place on Lanier,
Or is
unless
it-
I go way up the river.
Mhm.
Ball Ridge
Baldridge Marina's got a lot
in a
of them.
brush pile in 35 foot of water.
Cody Campbell says anything forward facing sonar has less than some of the pressure fish on the bank. And again, Cody, I don't know that I'm wrong. Yeah, don't underestimate what Farmer just said. The lake staying up is a big deal for largies. I agree with you 100%. I'm just thinking fishing pressure.
Yeah.
How many guys are out there scoping deeper water? And I say deeper on Lanier, let's say 35 foot down. And how many guys are 10 foot or fishing docks compared to where they used to be? But what was that? What was the gentleman that put that comment in there? Scroll back up. Keep on going. Keep on. Craven. So Craven, listen, you could be 100% right. I'm not disputing what you're saying. I just saw that study the other day and I was like, made you think. It's just something that makes you think. But I would tell you this, guys were catching 20-pound bags. Now, not as many, but guys were catching 20-pound bags of spots in the pit crew tournaments and all that before forward-facing sonar became a thing. The guys that know the game. They were doing it with 2D. So I don't really know the answer, but you could be 100% correct. I'm kind of in the camp. If you got it, fish with it. If you don't want it, don't fish with it. How common are stripers and hybrids on Lanier? It seems like they outnumber spots and largies 100-1 on my home lake. Does Lanier have a lot of hybrids? Not hybrids. We got stripers like crazy. What I mean,
I don't know. I don't catch that many stripers on Lanier.
I don't think it's
I guess
think it's in what you're saying, in that range. So, and I think his home lake's Hartwell. So, Tim, 2025, bold prediction, something you think coming? What?
I think we're going to see more of the non-forward-facing sonar tournaments. It's a popular thing. I like it. I think people are going to exploit that and use it to just make a different kind of fishing.
Yeah, I don't mind that as long as if they're up front and say, hey, this is a business decision, and don't hide behind they're doing it for the fisheries when they really have no intention of doing it for the fisheries.
Right. Just
Some are
like the
like
TAA. I mean,
Yeah,
it's one of them basically show up and go fish and see what you got.
right. Now, I did see something with the Chattanooga Bass Club or Bass Trail or something like that. They banned forward-facing sonar for 2025. Some guy had a face.
CBA did.
Yeah.
Wow.
Is that so? You familiar with them?
Oh yeah.
I'm not familiar with them, but I saw a Facebook post yesterday where it said for 2025, or it might have been a YouTube video some guy put out that in this year they're banning it.
If it's a CBA, it's kind of like Alabama Bass Trail. It's got the quality of stuff that Scott Barnes has got. It you don't.
It's your high end. It's your hammers.
Yeah.
Well, so that's interesting. And I don't care if they ban it. They ban it. I don't care. I mean, it doesn't affect me.
And
one
the
way or the
funny thing is, most of the pros that you've had on that you've talked to, they don't really care either way.
No, they just want to fish.
They just want to pick a path down and let's all go down the same path. They most of them really don't care.
Yeah, they're gamblers and they want to fish. Do you think, Ron Swinford, the CBA is a heck of a turning trot? I think, Ron, I got that information correct, but I saw that it's Chattanooga Bass. I think that's it. So I saw that some guy put out a video, and I think he fishes it, and he was in his truck. Guys, this is what just came down the line. So I believe I saw that yesterday. All right, let me ask you this. Will the NPFL, now I do expect a jump in their viewership at the beginning if they get their network. What's your predictions for the NPFL for the whole year? Do you think it'll start off hot, kind of wane in interest, or do you think, I mean, I hope for them it goes hot all year because I like the guys.
I think it's going to do well if they get the technical difficulties worked out with the cameras.
Yeah,
I think it's going to do well. Yeah,
Okay.
some big names in there.
you do. It's a good trail. It's a good trail. What about you? What's your prediction for the NPFL in 25?
I think this is going to be their step that they've been looking for to get bigger, more recognition. Again, they got to get their streaming stuff fixed.
Yeah.
But I because they're getting some of those bigger names, and like I said, it's the guys that if you think about it, if you got half the people that don't want to watch forward facing sonar, and you get half of those, it's another 25% of your viewership.
Right.
So I think they grow. Like I said, having some characters in there, those Swindle goes and Watson goes and all that.
I need to get Watson on. I talked to him and he said
It'll boost viewership, which in turn, even you might turn into watch Swindle, but you find this other guy that you really like. Now he's one of your favorites, so he helps them build things along.
That might be the trail to come up with what you were talking about earlier, where you had a subscription. to
Yeah.
watch 'em,
Yeah.
because it's still small and I think that'd be great for them.
What about fishing with Farmer right there? He says, your old school flipping and pitching guys will be the ones leading the NPFL. That's my bold prediction. I'm going to go against you. I still think Patrick Walters and
Kyle Welcher and Drew
Kyle,
Cook,
I still think they'll be.
Kyle Welcher's a bank beater too, though.
he can do it all. I mean, he's a very, very complete angler.
I don't know that them
complete.
guys are going to come in and start dominating.
No, I mean they have the Welcher and Patrick and Drew. They hadn't won any terms this year.
No, and they're in their prime.
They are.
Some of these guys coming over are a little, I don't want to say old and long in the tooth, but they're a little older. I mean, could you do things at 40 as good as you could at 25 to 30?
No.
Kevin, do you remember 40? Huh?
I do, but I can't do them as well today.
Right. So I don't know that these names are great, but I don't know if you just don't see the same guys continue to win.
Yeah, it's
You're
true.
20
But
somethings.
I tell you what, I fished against Swindle. He goes just as hard when we get done with a Sunday nighter as he did when he started.
He probably does. I'm not denying that.
Those guys.
I'm
are
just
driven.
saying, do you think though, it's still a young man's sport? Rick Clunn's the exception.
Yeah.
I mean, he's an exception. There ain't but so many Rick Clunns. And Farmer, you might be 100% right. 100% right. But I don't think you can discount some of the, Will Harkins is what? 23?
Maybe.
23 years old. Do you think Will Harkins is all of a sudden just because they're taking forward-facing sonar away from him? That tournament he won in Alabama was on a crankbait.
He's throwing freaking mono. Nobody throws mono.
Right. He got $100,000 check on
I don't
mono.
know. You know how much mono you can buy with $100,000?
A absolute. You probably from here to the
You
sun
couldn't
and
put it in
back.
the store.
Yeah, 100%. All right, pull up old Alan Brooks. Alan, I'm glad you hung with us tonight. 2025 prediction: at least one
Hey.
FNG video will go mega viral, and that might be the one of me in a thong.
That might be the wrong one, but
It might be the wrong one, Alan. But hey, you never
Alan didn't
know.
say which video. He just said a video.
said
I'm
a
going to give
video.
him that.
That might be the Adult Swim videos. that we'll put out. Or if we do decide to ever do an OnlyFans, we might can do that. And so I might can get an OnlyFans. There's enough creepers out there. I might.
That
get an
might be on the
OnlyFans.
private subscription. Are you subscribed to FNGO? Do you get the boxes, the
We
other
might,
videos?
you know what, we might need to do on the private stuff, on the subscription stuff, like a members only,
Members only.
like a unfiltered. That way, because I know my preacher ain't going to sign up for it and I can get away with it and I won't get in trouble.
Yeah,
in
we can
church.
get by with that.
Yeah, my wife ain't going to pay for it. So without forward-facing sonar, it takes a lot of the new school ways of fishing off the board. That's why your guys like Swindle and others think we'll be able to compete and adapt better than the ones that rely heavily on forward-facing sonar. Okay, I agree with you to a point. Never here, Fish North Georgia tip of the night. If you dip Copenhagen, don't stick your finger in your eye that you use to get your snuff out with. I can see that, but let's take Jason Johnson. Jason Johnson was fishing FLW. He was fishing Lake Lanier over all this deep timber with a weightless wacky worm and pulling in 20-pound bags or a wacky before the guys got out there and were doing it with forward-facing sonar. They know where the fish are now. They got the patterns down now. What's to prevent guys from being able to go out and basically replicate what they're doing without seeing the fish in real time? But, you know, the patterns are there. They still kind of can, you know, it'd be curious to watch.
it's a bigger gamble now without being able to see.
That it is.
without seeing them.
Because a lot of the fish, like you have heard the big sacks coming out of Guntersville, some of those are isolated fish.
Yeah.
that
Well, you
you're not
heard
gonna
some of the
find.
guys on here before say when they pull up to a brush pile or something, even though it's marked on their thing, if they don't see a fish in it, they
I
keep
don't
going.
make a cast.
Yeah.
And now with no FFS, they'll just be
It's 2 or 3
That
casts
might
and
be.
go.
Yeah, you might be right.
It's efficiency. That's
Different.
the one.
Yeah,
thing
they
with
gotta throw on
forward-facing
it a little
sonar.
bit.
It makes you that much more efficient.
Yeah,
with your
because you can
time,
look,
yeah, for
but
sure.
I
you're
can
right.
run 120, 130 brush piles on a day in Lanier without just really getting after it. And I pull up to the first 25 and there's nothing there. I'm not throwing.
Yeah, that will change.
That's a huge piece of pro
The puzzle.
anglers and forward facing sonar is efficiency.
Okay, that makes sense. David, Easy D Maddox. And I don't recognize that name either, so I appreciate you joining us tonight. But he's kind of going off what I said. Taking forward-facing sonar away at this point doesn't matter as much. The lessons have already been learned.
Especially if you got fish that
I
are
agree with
wadded
that.
up on a place
Right.
or in timber. But those isolated ones, those are going to get a lot harder.
Yeah. I think, and we'll talk all a little bit after the show, but I think Jason will tell you the one thing that forward-facing sonar taught us is they're always moving. They're not doing what we thought. They're not just sitting on the end of a point on a rock going, throw me a bait. They're moving, the speed of the bait's moving, but the patterns, like you can just almost go to some of these places and blind cast and just kind of replicate some of the things you were doing. And you might not be as efficient, you might not catch as many, but you still can catch them.
Yeah.
So Farmer says, I agree with you, Danny, as far as like wintertime or summertime when the fish are stacked up and predictable areas. Farmer, it's going to be interesting just to see how it all plays out. It is an unknown, but we were wondering. Now take bedding season out, which I think you could ban that season, part of the season. What would let me ask you that question? Do you think they should not do tournaments during bed season?
No. I think they should.
You think they should? Okay. I don't care either way. I'm just
I
asking.
think they should.
Okay.
If this young man back here is getting into fishing,
Yeah.
what month of the year do you want to take him to go catch a bunch of fish and get him hooked?
Oh, I agree with you on that. I get it. Let's talk about at the elite levels. At the elite levels.
No. Like I said, I came from Texas and, it's Louisiana, Texas. I felt like if it really hurt them that bad, they would have seen a decline. And we have not seen a decline.
You might be 100% right. I just posed a question.
Yeah.
So that's not that I disagree with you at all on that.
Yeah,
There's something kind of fun
I
about
love
trying to
it.
get Becky off of bed.
there's nothing better than end of March, 1st of April on Lanier. Pick up a shaky head and just go down the bank.
Well, see too, but the thing, yeah, you can do that. Spots are a little bit different because
Mhm.
you really don't see a lot of spot beds. You just know they're
Just know that
you just
once
know
you
they're
find
there.
the area.
yeah. Once you find the area, you know they're there.
Right.
I agree with Ron. Be good to see an old boat dock skipper to win one. Hey, listen,
be.
and Ron said that I want someone to win an event just flipping boat docks someplace. Now I see War Eagle the best. Please no tournament bed fishing. It hurts largemouth on Lanier, and that might be 100% true. I'm just I think it might affect largemouth more than spots because largemouth are up there. They're more visual. You can definitely
You
see
can
it.
definitely see it.
So I mean, maybe you could have the tournament, but you can't weigh in largemouth there. That'd be so hard.
Yeah.
I was just curious. I
Well,
mean,
what's the difference in having a spot only tournament?
well, I mean, I don't really know. I don't know the answer to these questions. My job is to pose it. You guys are the experts. You guys are the experts.
Yeah.
Spots are easier to catch on a bed than largemouth. That I do believe
Yeah.
Yes.
because you're I mean, you can just
Get it close.
blind cat. A spot will come 20 foot off a bed if you can see it.
Yep.
Just because that's the way they are. All right, before we ease it up though, your last big bold prediction, 20. What would you like to see happen in 25, Tim? I only did that because you were typing.
Caught me right in the middle
I
of
did.
it.
I threw you
I'm
under the
sorry.
bus.
What prediction?
Just give me a crazy prediction for 25.
Probably see maybe some 30-pound bags start coming in. I think it's going to move up.
In what?
Professional fishing.
In professional fishing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even possibly here on Lanier. I mean, look at these guys now. They're coming in with 20-something pound bags sometimes. So
The elite
as they
owns-
improve.
Yeah, the elite on Smith Lake just showed how aggressive you have to follow spots in open water when using FFS. I think more catch and release would be better than no bed fishing. See, that's the thing, guys. Is that we have all these different thoughts and everything. The cool thing is that we can get on here, and I can't necessarily disagree with you, or you may not agree with me, but we can do it in a way to which you might be right, you might be right, and all that. It's at least civil conversation. Good Lord, that's another thing about social media. You can't.
No.
Oh, you put out a video and somebody posted. I promise you right now, I will get 4 or 5 dislikes on this show. It's probably from somebody just pissed off. But, you'll get them. People don't agree with it. You can't have anything. I do like the idea of a digital tournament during bed season. Yeah, I am not sure about Lanier, but I know why some places there are spawners every year. You don't have to see them to know they're there. That's it. So, Kevin, you got any more just absolutely preposterous predictions for 25 in the fishing industry? Are you awake?
I'm awake. I'm just trying to.
Not really?
No, I'd really like to see the price of gas come down for boats.
Hell, I think we'd all like to see the price of
Oil.
gas come down. Oil.
Oil.
I'm not.
For us poor people over here running
For
still
your
running
two-strokers?
two-strokes, it's through the roof.
What does it cost now?
I'm getting it in Gunnersville. It's like 30 something a gallon. I was bringing it back to folks here and they said they were paying almost 60.
It was $42 a gallon when I sold my two-stroke.
It's cheaper over
Ooh,
there.
all electric outboards for pros.
Nah.
That ain't gonna happen.
I wouldn't. Maybe not this coming up year.
There's too much.
Eventually.
Yeah, there's too much money in the big
Yeah, but you got
engines.
Yamaha's got that hydrogen powered boat out now.
How much you think that thing is gonna cost?
Oh, yeah, no, it's absolutely expensive, and you're basically driving around on a bomb. But other than that, hey, they will have a zoom off. We have zoom offs.
Danny knows about those zoom offs.
That's right. I do know. I did hear yesterday talk of some of the lakes in Georgia, the electric only lakes are starting to enforce horsepower restrictions on the electric side because guys are getting these bigger ones or doubling and tripling motors and stuff
Oh,
like
my
that.
God.
Some of your southern lakes are going back to enforcing the horsepower. It's down south, not up here in the northern part,
Wow.
but it is happening. All that
Well, a
stuff's
lot
gonna
of
come.
them mistake is most of those lakes are idle speed only. It doesn't matter what you're in, and they're like, "Oh, that means I can't have this big engine, so I put these electric ones on and take off."
Trust me, I got in trouble at Rocky.
I was going to say, you know this firsthand, right?
Hell yeah. So we were at Rocky Mountain and we had our zoom off, and every one of us was just kicking ass about 7.88 miles per hour. not thinking about it, Rocky Mountain is a no-wake lake.
The
don't
sign
think about,
specifically says idle
Yeah.
speed only.
Uh-huh. We didn't think about it. We're in a little bit electric rigs. Well, the powers that be were waiting on us at the weigh-in. That's the last tournament I have fished over there on Rocky Mountain. So
I don't know if this will happen, but with some of the tournament trails that are doing away with the forward-facing sonar, I'd like to see them go back to taking a co-angler.
you like to see the professionals take a co-angler?
Mm-hmm. If you're not going to have forward-facing sonar, I'm no longer
That would be the only way.
Yep.
If you so you'd like to see the MPFL have co-angler side.
I think it'd be a good idea. I'd also think it'd be a great idea to have a team tournament with a co-angler and a professional. The money would be separate based on the entry fee. I
Right.
understand that aspect of it, but total weight for the two guys.
I got you. How about this question from Matthew Smith? This is a good one. Who will be the newest big professional fishing sponsor to hit in 2025? Kind of like Walmart and FLW days. I will tell you this. The non-endemic sponsors are hard to get right now. General Tire just pulled out. Getting a non-endemic sponsor in fishing right now is hard. Getting a big sponsor in fishing is hard because we've talked about it before. I got $1,000, and that's just, we're going to put it on my level, not Walmart's level. I got $1,000. I can give it to a pro to put a sticker on their boat. I can give it to a local, whatever. I'm going to give it to a kayak angler that has a YouTube channel. 100%. And the reason I'm going to do that is because, number one, they work that social media like crazy. And that's where all your money is going to be going. It's going to be going to influencers and people like that, because think about it. You see a pro, and if he's not on camera the entire time, you see he gets to shout you out at a weigh-in maybe once or twice, whatever. So I think the majority of your money in professional fishing is not going to come back ever like it was with the Walmart. That's just my thoughts, just because I know where I would spend my money. I'd give it to a kayak guy. Kayak guys are by far, even though they're a strange group of people, they are a strange.
You got Chris looking
you are
funny
a
back here.
strange- Where is he back there still, or is he with you?
He's back here with me. He's sitting here just grinning.
Well, look at
They're
Daniel.
strange, but
What's the other guy on Alatoona all the time in the kayak?
Talking about DJ?
Yeah, DJ.
DJ.
Yeah, you got Deshaun and you got Daniel.
Yeah,
They're posting
they're
every
posting
other
all the time.
day.
So what do I want? I want my product, my name out there in front of the most eyeballs.
Yep.
Where are you going to get that? You're going to get it on YouTube, and you're going to get it on TikTok should they not ban it. So I do not think that you're going to get a big-time sponsor back in. Now, I hope they do. I hope it comes back, but I don't see that. I would like to see Alan Brooks on the show in 2025. Any predictions on if that could happen? Well, hell yeah, we can have Alan on next time he wants to be on, anytime he wants to be on.
We'll let you know, Mr. Anderson, so you can be here.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's an easy one. All Alan's got to do is bring his sharp dressed butt up here, and we'll stick him on. I love having him on. Fishing in the Olympics? Maybe. I mean, if you can have that break dancing like what we saw, that wasn't the break dancing I did back in the day.
shit.
The break dancing has changed. Ken Pruitt, 2025, over $1 million payout for the Ultimate Angler Championship on Gunnersville. First place, $500K. Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
We'll see how that happens. So, anyway, with that, let's say this. Let me make sure I say this. Say it to my crew and Tuesday night's crew if they're watching it. I love you guys. I absolutely love. There's nothing better than a Tuesday and Thursday night. You guys coming up here, not only working, but hanging out with me and talking. And Kevin feeding us and getting to meet
Enjoy it.
you and going doing trips and all that. I absolutely have the two best, the groups of people. And Ken's not here tonight, but you guys that help run this show are by far top shelf people. And I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else.
I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love you guys to death.
So happy to be a part of
Yeah,
it.
you guys in the comments that watch, I love you guys. And especially what I enjoy is seeing all of these yes, Silverpunk. I'll have some more kayak guys on the show next year in 25, I promise. All you guys I'm seeing every week, I'm seeing new names in the comment section. And it shows that our reach is getting out there and growing. And but we still get our old favorites like Ron Swinford that's been here for years and years and years. So, and Farmer and guys like that. We appreciate all you guys in the show. Without you guys is nothing, because you make my job easier with the comments and all that. So from Fish, North Georgia, Thank you guys very much. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. I do not think we're going to do shows next week. It might be the first Thursday in January before we have a show again. But I got some special stuff I'm going to try to line up for you guys like that. But I hope you guys take this time. Number one, if you're going fishing, be careful out there. It's cold and all that. But number two, I hope you enjoy your families and spend time with the people you love. It's just kind of like just these guys. Spend the time with the people you love and make that be the most important thing during this holiday season. And again, we will see you guys after Christmas. Hope Santa's good to all of you guys. And we love you. And we're out of here. We'll see you on the next one.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.